We're back.
We're back, bro.
Yeah, we're back. Okay, so it's been. I think the last episode we did was it was right after the Sony thing, but before Summer Game Fest.
Yeah, Summer Games Fest was later that day.
I think it was the day after.
One of the two.
I think it was the day after, yeah. And then neither of us were able to stream the Xbox show. So those are kind of like the two anchor points for this. But then also other stuff.
We got to stream Summer Games Fest together.
Yes, and obviously the biggest showcase of them all was right after.
The IOI showcase.
Yeah, but we should probably mention, given that we are a Canadian podcast, that Canada's team brought home the cup. The Abbotsford Canucks.
Are they Canada's team?
They are. They are, in fact, Canada's team. They were the last remaining Canadian team, and they are now champions. Of course, Canada's second team, the Florida Panthers, also won the Stanley Cup. So
yeah, they are a majority Canadian.
They are, in fairness. But to be fair, so
very funny.
Pretty much every team except for, ironically, the Canucks is mostly Canadian. But yeah.
Yeah, Florida won the cup by doing what Florida does.
I was going to begin this podcast by making fun of the Oilers and saying that the Canucks won something this year and they didn't. And then I checked my phone this morning. The Oilers traded Evander Kane to the Canucks.
For a pick.
And it still feels like the Oilers won that trade.
Yep. They got rid of a problematic player.
Yeah.
Sent him off to a team.
First off, you don't do deals with division rivals. First of all. Second of all, Evander Kane? Kane!
The Canucks have no shot at the cup. No shot.
Depends who we sign in the summer.
It does not matter. Evander Kane will tank it.
Yeah, I will say it's way less now than it was before.
I think, what was he, like 48 penalty minutes or something like that in the final series was just Evander Kane?
Yeah, he's an absolute locker room cancer.
There was a game where he got a penalty every time he went out on ice. And then they just sent him to the room.
Oh, God, what?
They sent a bomb to the Canucks, dude.
Oh, my God.
Like, here, have some poison.
Yeah, well, don't worry. We are champions, so.
Kind of.
We are officially a winning organization now.
Yeah, in like the minors, you know?
Yeah. Anywho, Summer Jeff. What did you think of I mean, we'll get into the specifics, but
I feel like Summer Games Fest this year.
I thought it was fine. I do kind of recall you being a bit more positive on it. It feels like opinion on that one was all over the place.
Because I think they showed off more stuff that I'm interested in, but the Resident Evil 9 trailer at the end,
but yeah,
was fucking crazy.
Yeah,
but they showed off a lot of games that I personally like.
The reason why I'm kind of like it's an okay show is because there were quite a few games I was interested in, but it was very poorly paced, and there were only like a couple of heavy hitters. Like basically just Resident Evil and Stranger from Heaven.
We'll talk about it more with the Xbox with pacing, but I think Summer Games Fest actually started out pretty good.
It started out okay, but the midsection was very.
It's when they did the little Resident Evil talk, and they were like, "Hey, the games are going on sale." After that, it was just slow for
an hour,
a while.
Yeah, but let's start with Mortal Shell 2.
I really like Mortal Shell, so
you did.
Steven and I were both freaking out about Mortal Shell 2.
You did or you didn't?
We did. We love We both loved that game. So
I
when they announced
really
it, like,
didn't think it would be the sort of game that would be a franchise.
I think it deserves to be a franchise.
I have no
It's
opinion
one of the
on it.
more of all the Souls-like games. There's very few that have like their own identity.
Okay.
This is one of them. Not only
Fair
do you
enough.
have guns, in this one you have guns, but the way that the mechanics work, it's so different from other Souls-likes that it's kind of its own thing.
The thing for me is I just don't have a strong opinion. I haven't played it. Don't think I ever will.
I think you could probably pick up the first game for like $3. It's always on sale.
I don't know. It never spoke to me, never grabbed out. So I was expecting something a bit bigger for the first game, but it's Mortal Shell 2. That's coming 2026. Then it was Fortnite. Jesus Christ. Death Stranding 2 was next up, but we'll talk about that in the Sony block because there is some Sony stuff to talk about. But there was like a Death Stranding cutscene that they showed off. That game is now out, by the way. I should probably mention that I am planning to stream and review it, but it's going to be a few weeks because I want to replay the first game and I also don't have time at the moment. So, soon. TM. But I will stream it. I did put out the VODs for the original game because those got deleted from Twitch when they changed their VOD thing. So there's a bunch of Death Stranding VODs on my YouTube feed now. So
yeah. Then they showed off Chronicles Medieval, right? That was after?
Was it? Yes. It was the thing that the tray of it looked very interesting until we figured out it was an RTS.
The thing... Have they announced what type of game it is?
It's an RTS.
Is it an RTS?
It is. Tom Hardy is narrator, but it's an RTS.
I really don't want it to be an RTS. Like, have you ever played Mountain Blade?
No.
Mountain Blade is awesome because you're just a regular guy in a giant battlefield.
What was that game that was like... I don't think it's out yet, but it was something like a medieval thing, but you've got like pickup trucks and machine guns.
Oh, I know the one that you're talking about.
Yeah, that one looked cool. I can't remember the name of it.
Can't remember the name of it either.
But yeah, moving on, I think. And yes, you got anything else to say?
I just want it to be more like Mountain Blade.
I don't think it's going to be RTS. Sonic Racing. Cool.
Hey, I have to buy that game.
Because Joker's in it.
Yeah, I'm like contractually obligated to buy that game. It'll probably sell quite well, though.
Yeah, Hatsune Miku's in it. Ichiban Kasuga from Yakuza's in it.
And the goddamn Joker.
The Joker. But not the Joker for Persona. Joker, we should probably mention. Because when people think
better Joker.
When people think Joker, they're going to think... Well, now they're probably going to think of that god-awful movie, but...
Joker 2?
Jesus.
Fuck, that was brutal.
It was so bad. So bad.
Brutal.
So bad. And then they took a shot at Nintendo during this.
Yeah,
section.
it has cross-platform matchmaking.
Yeah.
And people are like, "Oh, it's a dig at Nintendo." I'm like, Mario Kart's only on the Switch.
I think that's the dig.
Like, is that the dig? Like, Nintendo's never gonna let Mario Kart leave the Switch.
Yeah.
If they did, it'd be the highest-selling game of all time.
The dig is that you can play this on PlayStation, and you can't do that.
If Nintendo ever want to claim we have the most sold game ever, if they put Mario Kart 8 on PlayStation and like Steam, it'd be the highest selling game ever.
I don't think it would do GTA numbers, but I think it would get close.
Because right now it's sitting at what, like 80 million?
73,
just on
I think,
Switch.
something like that.
That's, yeah.
Anyway, next up.
Port it.
Code Vein. That was another sequel to a game from a few years ago that kind of passed me by.
I like Code Vein.
That is
Code
also
Vein
coming
was fun.
2026. Code Vein 2.
I never wanted a Code Vein sequel.
I don't have much of an opinion on it, to be honest.
But it's... yeah, okay.
Oh, this one did actually catch my eye. This was the first one beyond Death Stranding, which we will get to. End of Abyss. So this one I'm kind of into. Do you remember this one? It was the Little Nightmares type thing, kind of top-down-ish. Being published by Epic Games.
Yeah.
Looks very good. 2026 console PC.
It does look pretty cool. That's one where the kid was like shooting and the monster would split in half and stuff?
Yeah, and then you had to like shoot them twice.
Yeah.
I thought that
does
pretty
look
cool.
Interesting.
So that is Epic exclusive on PC because Epic are publishing it. So.
Oh, then I won't buy it.
I'll get it on console. Another game that kind of interested me after this was Mouse PI for Hire. This one just looks fun.
I've been following this game a long time.
This one just looks fun.
Yeah, Mouse PI has been it's been a long time.
It's out this year, apparently.
That.
It's out the end of this year, so. Another RTS of a CG trailer coming up. Game of Thrones
one. There has been really good RTS games based on franchises. The Lord of the Rings ones, Battle for Middle Earth, they were really good. But Game of Thrones, man, it's just such a tainted franchise because of the show.
Yeah.
Like, those books have to come out to kind of fix what happened with the show. And if they ever go to redo the show, they gotta do it animated because there's no way you can get actors to do that. It takes way too long.
Anyway, next up, Mundfish. Atomic Heart 2.
Sexy robots are back.
Bunch of sex.
Yeah. They were like the horniest trailers I've ever seen.
Yeah, I played like an hour of the first game. I thought it was fine, but never wanted to play any more of it.
I finished Atomic Heart. I actually really liked it.
Yeah, maybe I'll play this if I play the first game, but it kind of slots into the same area as like Mortal Shell for me.
Well, you can finish Atomic Heart pretty quick. I don't remember
Isn't
it being
it
that long.
30 hours, I think? 30, 40 hours?
I don't think it was 30, 40 hours. I think I had that shit wrapped up in like 15.
Oh, I can't remember. Anyway, Atomic Heart 2 and an MMO spin-off. The Cube.
Yeah, the
Atomic
Cube
Universe. Both of these seem to be a bit of a ways out, by the way.
Yeah, there's no way it's close.
Yeah, both of these are pretty early announcements, but the Cube is an MMO. Seems to almost be Destiny-ish. So maybe that'll be good. I don't know. Marvel Cosmic Invasion. Sorry, did you have something to say?
Oh, I was gonna say, like, Destiny's the only kind of MMO shooter game left.
Yeah, because the Division kind of died.
Back in the day, there was more, but
Warframe.
like they all kind of fell off. Well, Warframe's different. Warframe's third person.
Anyway,
you can run around with a sword and shit.
A game that I actually do want to play was next.
Tabula Rasa. There we go. I got the name.
What?
That was like one of the original shooter MMOs. Tabula Rasa,
okay.
and then there was like Firefall.
Anywho, well, what do you think of Marvel Cosmic Invasion?
I'll play it. Like, it's a beat 'em up. I like beat 'em ups.
It's fun. Don't think it's going to win any Game of the Year awards, but it'll be fun.
I'm not the biggest Marvel guy.
I used to be, but not really anymore.
Well, I like the comics. I never really enjoyed the movies that much.
Yeah.
Weird.
I enjoyed most of the MCU movies, but the recent ones are bad.
The recent ones are brutal, dude.
Yeah, they're bad. Next up was probably one of the best games of the entire show, Onimusha Way of the Sword. This one looks very good. I heard that people that did get to play it at Summer Game Fest were extremely positive on it. Like, they're saying it could be the next big thing.
So, Onimusha is an interesting franchise for me, because I actually had never played Onimusha.
Okay.
Despite owning... I own the physical copies of Onimusha, because my brother had them.
Yeah.
And it was actually Steven told me to play them. So, this was like...
This is all Steven's fault?
Yeah, this is a while back. Steven told me to play him, so I literally blitzed through that whole franchise in like 2 weeks.
Steven, New York Steven.
Yeah,
That's
I was
funny.
like, okay, I'm really excited for the new Onimusha now.
That
And
is
it's Miyamoto Musashi who is the main guy in Onimusha, which is what Assassin's Creed Shadows should have been about.
I should probably mention that the Shadows review is still not done. It should be done soon, within like a week or so, but it's not done yet.
Stressful ass review.
Yeah, I've hit writer's block with it quite hard actually. Anywho, Onimusha out 2026 does look very good. Puppet boxing felt that.
I'm gonna buy this fucking game.
There's always like some meme game that everybody kind of yatches onto, and this seems to be the one from this show.
This trailer was not only funny, but it's Punch Out. Punch Out
with the Muppets.
Yeah, it's Punch Out with Muppets. I will take Punch Out with Muppets. That's fine with me.
One of the games that caught my eye in the whole thing was up next. Killer In. I can't say the word killer, so...
It's Killer In. That's like the
it's like
Clue,
the
right?
Among Us, but a shooter.
Yeah, it's Clue.
Yes, it's kind of closer to Clue. That looks fun. It's being published by Square Enix, interestingly.
I actually played a board game that's really similar to this.
It's probably called Clue.
No, it's not Clue. It's like Clue, but you have to kill your opponents.
Okay.
So, I don't know, it looks cool.
Yeah, it looks fun. It's interesting that Square Enix are publishing this, because they don't usually do Western stuff anymore, but they're doing this.
Like, I'll give it to them. They're trying something neat. I hope it works out for them.
Yeah, it's pretty rare that there's multiplayer games I actually want to play. I say as I have Rematch footage in the background.
Their last attempt at multiplayer was Foam Stars.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah. Anywho, Arcade.
I have 2 friends that are just like
it's apparently
diehards.
It's apparently good.
I don't think I'll ever end up playing it.
October 30th. People were expecting that to be a shadow drop, but it's October 30th, so...
Yeah, give them time.
Dune Awakening, which came out like the day before, so it was already out, but Dune Awakening got a trailer. It's apparently fine, but it's not coming out on consoles till next year, so I don't care.
It's a game.
Tides
of Annihilation now.
No.
Huh?
No. Chrono Odyssey, not Tides of Annihilation.
Oh, yeah.
I don't remember this game. You don't remember it?
It looks like the other game that was just announced.
Tides of Annihilation. That game looked good. This game just kind of looked whatever. I see pictures of it now. I just thought it was kind of whatever. It's an MMO, unlike Tides, which was single player.
Yeah, so that means immediate hard out.
Wuthering Waves, don't care. Mio Memories in Orbit. This is something I do want to play.
Actually looks good.
2D Metroidvania. Demo was on Steam, apparently. Out of Words, which was knockoff It Takes Two.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, there's apparently a demo for Steam Next Fest.
Oh, there is. I'm downloading that.
Yeah, I might.
I'm really interested in that.
I think that's out later this year. Yes, it is. That was like the one game from like a Nintendo Direct a while ago that I actually wanted to play.
Yeah, it looks really cool.
But another epic game. This was basically It Takes Two.
Yeah.
It's also apparently very good, according to people that got to play it at Summer Game Fest. So maybe we'll do some streams for that when that comes out.
Yeah, good.
Looks fun. Mafia next. We already knew that was coming, but it looks good.
Trail looked really good. It was just the average daily life of an Italian guy back in the day, but it looks really good.
Oh, yeah, the worst joke of all time came right after that. If you're reading the same wrap-up that I am. 551.
Oh, it didn't?
The worst... Do you remember that joke?
Oh, yeah.
It was bad.
The Studs joke.
It was bad.
The jokes don't always land at the...
That was an all-timer of just
Summer
No.
Games Fest. They land more at the Game Awards, but I think that's because they got Kyle Bossman more involved at the Game Awards. And that dude is funny as hell.
Lego Voyagers. I don't remember this game.
You don't remember Lego Voyagers? I think you might have had to step away for a second.
I don't know. It seemed pretty dull. Nicktoons and the Dice of Destiny. Okay.
I think people were actually really excited for this for when they first showed it off, and then they showed the gameplay of it, and everybody was like, oh, this looks terrible.
This was the boring part of the show. Guys of PDLC, which is apparently good. Oh, this one was kind of interesting. The Doki Doki Literature Club meets Silent Hill. Fractured Blooms. That one looked kind of cool.
Yeah, that one...
Games like that kind of sum up the whole show for me. Like, games that it's like, oh, interesting, maybe I'll play it, but with the exception of the 2 games that ended the show, it wasn't like, whoa! It was like, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, Fractured Blooms looks interesting. It was a neat trailer.
It's apparently only been confirmed for PC. Interesting.
That's odd for Summer Game Fest.
Gaiden Soul Neo. Okay, I don't remember this at all. One Punch Man. Crystal of... Oh, no, sorry. It's Crystal of Atyan. Right.
Wait, you don't remember One Punch Neo?
No.
No, it's just fucking DLC.
Yeah, it's DLC for a game that's already out.
It's just DLC. But One Punch Man being in it's pretty cool.
7 Deadly Sins Origin.
I hate 7 Deadly Sins. I'm a 7 Deadly Sins hater.
I don't know what this is. Oh, it was the anime game, right.
Yeah, it was an anime game.
Okay, Jurassic Park Evolution 3, I don't fucking care. This is... Maybe you should take this one.
Which one here?
603.
Oh yeah, Mino the Hollower.
Yeah, this is more your sort of game.
Yeah, this is my sort of game. It kind of reminds me of like the old Zelda games on Game Boy.
What was it? Shovel Knight people, I think?
I think it is. It's Yacht Club Games doing it. They did Shovel Knight, Cyber Shadow.
Yeah, for me, this was just like another one. It's like, oh, it's whatever.
It looks like a mix of like Castlevania and old
Zelda
games for the Game Boy Color.
Yeah.
And I loved those games.
Okay.
So I think this is definitely something I'm going to buy.
Yeah.
And it's coming out in October.
And then Kyle Bosman came up on stage.
My goat.
With a note.
My goddamn goat.
Which mentions Silk Song.
Yeah, skip that
shit. It is not Silk Song. It is Deadpool VR, which is quite funny.
Interesting VR game.
It's apparently good. It's apparently not as good as Arkham Shadow was, but it's good. So it is exclusively to the MetaQuest. I will play it. I have a MetaQuest. I will definitely play this. Deadpool VR.
VR needs
Neil
as many
Patrick
good games.
Harris is the voice actor, but it sounded like
I thought it was Ryan Reynolds.
I did, but it's not.
Yeah.
He does a good impression, let's put it that way. Dying Light the Beast, we already knew that was out in August, I think. I think we already knew that was out in August. Maybe not.
I like Dying Light, so... they just announced, actually, that they're updating the original Dying Light. So everybody who already owns it gets, like, a remastered version of it.
That's cool. Apparently Dying Light the Beast is essentially Dying Light 3, despite beginning development as a DLC for 2. They are considering it free.
Yeah, it's one of those games where it started out as DLC, got out of control, and they're like, this is just another game.
Yeah. Mixtape. That was the last day of high school sort of thing, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Fine.
Yeah, we were making fun of it, like, a lot.
Okay, yeah, it was just kind of whatever. Toa and the Guardians of the Sacred Tree. I don't remember this at all.
Yeah, I think my exact comment was, for some reason, anime naming conventions has come into games, and that's a bad thing. It looks interesting, because it's top-down, looks kind of fun, but at the same time, I hate the name.
Yeah, it's just kind of whatever.
Let's call it Toa, or call it Guardians of the Tree. Don't mix it together.
One thing that I was quite looking forward to is the one that was next. Acts of Blood. Which is basically Sifu, except set in Indonesia. Which means it's basically, what was it, The Raid, I think it was?
Yeah.
Is it The Raid that was the Indonesian films? Yeah.
My exact quote from the stream was, give me more games about one Asian guy just beating up a bunch of other Asian dudes.
Yeah, that one immediately shot up my interest. Yevel.
Because every time there's a game like this, I just absolutely love it. Like Sleeping Dogs. I fucking love Sleeping.
It gave real Sifu vibes to me. More than anything
else. Well, Sifu, Sleeping Dogs, and this. They're all in that kind of high kung fu action, crazy combat.
Yeah. Scott Pilgrim next. Toronto mentioned.
I love Scott Pilgrim.
I haven't seen it.
I grew up with Scott Pilgrim.
I haven't seen it.
It was really good. Really good. I'm excited for this. It'll be fun.
Resident Evil showed up, which we could have done a joke that they teased us, but now you spoiled that Requiem was announced, so.
Everybody knows it.
True.
That shit hit the internet with a force that was unbelievable.
True. But yeah, they did like a Resident Evil tease just to piss everyone off. And then the First Descendant with some interesting visuals.
That's like the fucking horniest game ever made.
Yeah. Jeff, I'm surprised to get them do it, to be honest.
Yeah, but that game is like, how much ass do we need to put in this trailer before we can get out of mixed reviews on Steam?
Oh yeah, apparently the game sucks.
Yeah, the game's not great, but it got jiggle physics.
Another survival game after that, Scum. MindsEye!
Yeah,
all around me are familiar faces.
I was pissed. You never, ever use that goddamn song.
Gears of War E-Day can, but nobody else, because...
Yeah, only
the same franchise. It has to be the same franchise.
Yeah.
But,
Kojima can use it. That's it.
We'll talk more MindsEye when we get to the IOI showcase, I think.
What a horrible...
There was other IO interactive stuff, actually. There was a Hitman 007 mission, and they mentioned that 007 First Light is still coming, but we already knew that, so they just mentioned it. But yeah, there's Agent 47's Off to Kill Yashifra from Casino Royale. Mads Mikkelsen is back, so he did not reprise his role for Death Stranding 2, but he does still do video games, apparently. Mario Party, but Yego's up next. Yego Party.
Yeah, it's Mario Party we have at home.
Yeah. Wildgate. That was the multiplayer game from the former Blizzard guys. I don't care.
It's like the space one, right?
Yeah.
They're like jumping from ship to ship, and
yeah.
I like maybe 15 years ago saying I'm a former Blizzard dev would give you clout, but now when you say I'm a former Blizzard dev, I'm like, which game did you fuck up on?
Were you or were you not involved with a sexual assault allegation?
Yeah, were you in the milk room or no? Like, I need to know these things. Did you make Hearthstone worse? Did you make World of Warcraft worse? Or did you fuck up StarCraft?
Which is a game, Diablo DNA. I don't remember this at all. This is another Mundfish game. This is a game that Mundfish were publishing.
Yeah, Mundfish just kept showing up.
Ill
looks really cool.
Looks very interesting. Don't know whether it'll be good, but it definitely caught my eye.
Like, Ill looks really, really cool.
Mecha Break, fine.
I'm so excited for Mecha Break.
Out July 1st, so it's pretty soon.
It's like right around the corner. Very excited to play it. I just need to find time to play it. But I like mech games, so it's going to be sick.
This is kind of... After this is when the show began to pick up a bit, because we got to the end. Infinitesimals. Which is a Bug's Life, but with guns.
Yeah,
Grounded,
that's when it showed up.
Yeah.
Steven and I both said, like, oh, it's a Bug's Life.
Yeah. Or Ants. You remember Ants?
Yeah, I remember Ants. I saw Ants in theaters.
Jesus, you're old.
No, you're just young.
But, yeah, Infinitesimals. That is a very wordy title, but that is also being made by Epic, so... Big show for Epic Games, actually.
Yeah, they had a lot of stuff here.
What was next?
They
Another
did another Resident Evil thing.
At this point, I was kind of getting
like,
pissed off.
They were like, "It's a birthday message." They're like, "Okay."
Yes.
And then they showed off Street Fighter, baby.
No, they didn't. Oh, yes, they did.
They did.
They did. Right. Yas Fiag. They did Street Fighter first, and then
it was Last Flag.
Right. That was the Overwatch clone. Yeah, that looked terrible.
Yeah, Last Flag it's good at bomb. Okay,
Yeah.
I say this about every multiplayer co-op game.
The death of the game is what I remember.
The death of the game is when you are a hero shooter, and the death of a game is when you're trying to copy Team Fortress 2. And this thing is not only a hero shooter trying to copy Team Fortress 2, but it looks kind of ass.
Yeah, the next two games were very similar to each other in terms of names. Wu-Chang and Wu-Tang.
Yeah, the Wu-Tang Clan ain't nothing to fuck with.
Wu-Chang Fallen Feathers is it's apparently a very generic Souls-like from people that got to play it. It's out soon.
It looks interesting. It's out on the 23rd of July.
July 23rd, and it's day one on Game Pass, it should be pointed out. It's like the one Game Pass game that month, so.
Yeah, so there's that. But then the Wu-Tang Clan, baby.
This one is interesting, because this got leaked 4 years ago as a first-party Xbox game. And this is the game. It was from the studio, Brass Lion Entertainment. That was the rumor 4 years ago. And now this is just being self-published by Brass Lion Entertainment.
I'm really gonna date myself here. I played the Wu-Tang game on the original PlayStation.
Jesus, yeah, fucking boomer. But, I do wonder, because the game kind of just looked okay. If the publisher of Redfall didn't want your game, how bad is your game?
Or, opposite, maybe they only want bad game.
No, Indiana Jones was actually pretty good.
And Wu-Tang Clan was just so good that they were like, there's no way we can put our name on it.
I was actually so confused when I saw it, because it's like, wait, why is Xbox putting something in this show if they have their own show? But it wasn't Xbox.
Clan ain't nothing to fuck with.
Okay.
Remember, kids, have diversity in your bonds.
Anywho, Guild Wars.
Fucking Guild Wars.
Don't care. Mongol Star Dive. Don't care. It's like an anime gacha.
Yeah.
Montage for an epic sale. Cyberpunk on the Switch is a thing.
It was just around the corner, right? Or was it already out by then?
Yeah, Cyberpunk was already out on Switch. So
yeah, it was already out.
It was just an ad.
Yeah, they're just like, here, you can now play Cyberpunk, but worse.
Into the Unwell. Felix the Cat vibes. This one looked kind of interesting. It is a roguelike though, so it's probably bad. So what?
I said I forgot about Into the Unwell. It looks kind of ass.
Kind of interesting, but probably will be bad. And then the worst, probably the low point of the entire show.
What, Splitgate?
Yeah. Now, I have been on the record as saying that I think Splitgate 1 is actually relatively decent.
I don't like Splitgate.
People kind of turned against it after a while, but I thought it was fine. I thought it was fun. It was also, I was really good at it. I'm typically just kind of okay at shooters, but I was going like 20-3 every game in that. I don't know why. Something to do with the matchmaking. But, the guy shows up with a Make FPS Great Again hat.
Yeah.
which he did later apologize for, saying, "Oh, I'm not trying to make a political statement." Which is,
I mean,
it's one of two things: either you're an idiot or you're a fucking liar. Neither of which look particularly good on your game.
They did hit an all-time peak right after that.
Well, it was a launch day. It launched on the same day.
Well, they had it was like open.
There was a beta, but then it launched on the same day. So
and
obviously
they kept players for a long time, but there's already been like 3 scandals since then about this game.
Yeah, but I feel like this was kind of the big one. It feels like this was the most talked about moment of the entire show, actually, because it's just so unbelievably tone deaf.
But he also did say some things I enjoyed, like Call of Duty's stale as fuck.
I actually think it was wildly unprofessional. I think it may be true, but I think it's wildly unprofessional to take shots at other developers at a developer-focused event. I think that's not cool.
No, for the next Summer Games Fest, they should take the head of Call of Duty Studios and that guy and make him do a boxing match.
I thought you were going to say make them kiss.
Make him do a 1v1 in Splitgate and then a 1v1 in Call of Duty.
Anywho,
so sick.
They go on with what we're about to show you is gonna revolutionize the FPS genre. It's a fucking battle royale with Imagine Dragons natural.
Yeah, dude, I was laughing so hard. We're different than the other guy.
We got a battle royale.
Fucking Imagine Dragon.
Imagine Dragons battle royale.
Battle royale, like
this
fuck me, dude.
Whole segment, the whole Splitgate 2 segment, was an absolute train wreck.
Like we said with Mad World, Imagine Dragons can only be used in League of Legends cinematics. That's it. That's the only time they should be utilized.
Which is also League of Legends.
Yeah. That's it, but only Riot gets to use Imagine Dragons.
I think there was another game that used it relatively well. I can't remember. But yeah,
revolutionize the world.
Yeah,
fucking PR.
Yeah, well, I don't know what the fuck that was. To be honest, it was the whole segment was a train wreck. I do want to know. This was was it the same weekend or the weekend before the Trump military parade?
It was the weekend before, I believe.
I think it was the weekend before, because there was there were all the No Kings protests, and also, loads of shit's been going on with Trump. Apart from anything else, Jeff is Canadian. So yeah. I think it's very rude to show up to an event from a supposedly proud Canadian with a hat referencing a slogan from a president that wanted to annex Canada. I think it's just a fucking train wreck, and
Jeff Keighley could have just bossed him out by putting on like a Make Summer Games Fest Great Again hat, walking out with his arms open. Like, we're doing this, we're throwing down right now.
I do wonder whether Jeff knew he was going to wear that hat.
No,
I don't think
there's
so.
There's always one moment at these shows that just gets talked about to death, whether it's the Bill Clinton kid, fuck the Oscars.
Fuck the Oscars is legendary,
there's always one thing.
But typically,
that Bill Clinton kid got a whole ass.
He got a whole career out of it. Yeah.
Yeah. And he is also the funniest kid on the planet.
So that game came out right as the show did. It was like a simultaneous launch thing. And then people actually boot the fucking thing up and find out that the game that is apparently going to make FPS great again has $80 skins.
Which they've now reduced.
But that wasn't a good start.
No.
People were already kind of lukewarm on it being a battle royale in the first place because people were fucking sick to death of that game. And apparently there's recently been layoffs at 1047 Games, which I do want to say, I do sympathize with the developers. Layoffs are never good. I hope they land on their feet, genuinely. However, their fucking director is an idiot. And I have no interest in playing it anymore. Yeah, 61%. 61% on Steam. Not good.
Buddy, it's revolutionizing FPSs.
2 more games, and these were probably by far the 2 best games they showed off. Because
what was the game of the show up next?
We're not going to count 007 because they didn't actually show it, so we'll count that as a state of play game. RGG Studio showed up.
It looks so fucking good.
Project History that they showed off at Project Century is what they showed off at not State of Play, Game Awards.
Yeah.
And now we saw gameplay for it. Seems to have a bit of a time travel aspect to it, because this was set during World War II, and the previous thing was set during World War One.
It's either that, or there's a time skip.
Maybe. I don't know. But it also seems to be a bit of a ways out. But we have a title, it's called Stranger Than Heaven.
The coolest looking goddamn game.
I think it's going to be good. I think this is going to be like a good entry point into RGG for me, because I can do this without having to play 500 hours of other shit.
A game about an Asian guy beating up Asian guys. I'm in.
One final game, which we've already talked about, it's Resident Evil Requiem. This was my game of show by a pretty wide margin. I think it looks fucking great. I really enjoyed Resident Evil Village, and apparently people that got to play it said it was fucking awesome. So, February 27th for that one. I'm excited.
Resident Evil?
Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder what the gameplay is going to be like.
I suspect it's apparently like halfway between 7 and 8, they said.
Leon Kennedy looks kind of fucked up.
Don't think he was in Betrayer.
He's the guy that's wearing the robe.
Oh, okay. Anywho, we knew he was going to be in the game anyway. That's the show. That was the show. There was a good ending, two really good games at the end, which I think brought it up a fair bit. But I was pretty average on it. I think there was some good stuff, but only a few things that were like, wow.
I think they showed off some cool stuff.
They showed off some cool stuff. But I think it's the middle tier of the three shows.
But like Stranger
Than Heaven does look good. Yeah. Anything else you want to mention on this, or should we move on to the most important show?
No, just Stranger Than Heaven being the GOAT.
Are you ready to move on?
I think we're ready to move on.
The biggest show of this summer not E3 season was, of course, the IOI Showcase. Now, I have been on the record as a certified IO Interactive dick sucker.
Yeah,
this has been a very tough month for me. And the MindsEye stuff we'll fucking get to. But this showcase, my god! What the fuck was that?
It was pretty bad.
It was Konami E3 2010 level bad. It was on that.
Yeah,
it was in that ballpark.
It started with audio issues and went down from there.
Yeah. There were 3 games they showed off. They showed like most of the Hitman Yashifra mission. They showed off like a lot of that. I still haven't played that, by the way. Probably won't bother now. Too late. There is so much going on in my life at the moment that I've barely played fucking anything except for Rematch, which is on the screen. And Balatro. I've been playing a fair bit of Balatro. They showed that. It looks like a Hitman mission with Mads Mikkelsen in it. Looks fun, looks cool, but it's not exactly world-changing. They show nothing from the new James Bond game. Like, nothing at all.
It's coming out.
They just show the old trailer, and they show, we've got partnerships with Coca-Cola, and fucking Aston Martin, and fucking whatever. It's like, okay. It feels like this was an investor call that was streamed to the public.
Yeah.
That's what this feels like. And then there was the third game they showed. And I think this is a good time to talk about that game. Have you played it?
What, MindsEye? No.
Okay. I cancelled my pre-order, if you remember, because we talked about it. We talked about the red flags in the previous episode.
You were excited for MindsEye.
I was. I look very stupid now. The February
I
state
called
of
that
play,
shit.
I did say there were some red flags at the time, to be fair, but I said that I trusted IO Interactive. It is at a... What is the... I think it went even lower from when I said it was, like... What is the Metacritic score for MindsEye at the moment? Because it came out the week after. 28! It is a 28 on Metacritic. A 38 on PC. It is one of the lowest rated games of all time.
I just remember you were like, it comes out so close to Death Stranding 2. I hope I could beat it and finish it. It's gonna be really good. It's a good month for games. And I was like, I think it looks kind of shit.
Yo, man. I do not blame IO Interactive's developers for this. I don't.
I do.
Well, no, because they didn't develop it.
I do.
Yeah, but you're just saying that to be an asshole.
Yeah, I am.
Obviously, it's not the fault of IO Interactive's developers. They are working on James Bond and the fantasy game, which they didn't show. I was kind of expecting that they would show something from the fantasy game, given that they were doing a showcase, but no. I will say, given that this is the first game in their new publishing outfit, could not have gotten off to a worse start.
It should have been a grand slam. It's like, hey, you got Rockstar. They made the fucking greatest game ever. You got one of those guys.
Yeski Benzies.
Heading this shit up.
Yeah.
Like, this is gonna be sick, and then it's fucking god-awful.
It's one of the lowest rated games in video game history.
I feel bad, because this is the second time a game that the main dude that's acting in it, because he's the guy from Mafia 3
guy. In fairness,
yeah.
Mafia 3 was decent. The
Mafia
story in that was very good.
But it was like, that's 2 games in a row that kind of disappointed fans.
Yeah. In fairness, I think everybody kind of knew, because we talked in the last episode, I'm like, MindsEye has some serious red flags, I cancelled my pre-order. I think everybody kind of knew that it was going to come in very hot.
Yeah,
they showed off some gameplay at the IOI showcase, and it's like, this is very obviously very hyper-edited gameplay.
He was taking like 50 shots and just keep walking.
Yeah. Which is funny, because the press previews were saying that they had to turn on invincibility to get through it. So they must have just whacked right down the amount of damage that they did since then. But this was their first game of their new IOI partners thing. And I do feel for the developers, because the developers at IO Interactive do not deserve to get their fantastic work. Because Hitman is genuinely fantastic. Like, genuinely fantastic. And 007 First Light looks like it's going to be on that same level. And it's a shame that their work has kind of been tarnished a bit by the work of a completely different studio.
I got gameplay. I'm looking at it. Oh,
it's bad. God. It's bad. It's bad.
Oh my god. They were like, yeah, this is fun.
Serious bozo move by the heads of IO Interactive. That's what I would say. I don't blame the developers, but I do blame the heads, because it's been a disaster.
They should have seen this shit like a million miles away.
I wonder if they were... Because obviously they knew when the game was coming out how fucked everything was. I wonder if, when they signed the publishing agreement, they had only seen the same hyper-edited stuff that we saw.
No. I think they assumed it would get better.
Maybe. I don't know. But
I mean, alpha and betas of games are typically buggy.
There has been already over 100 layoffs at Build a Rocket Boy. I do have total empathy for the actual developers at Build a Rocket Boy, because have you read those Glassdoor reviews?
Sorry?
The Glassdoor.
No.
The reviews of the workplace.
No, I haven't.
They are scathing. Like, we're talking crunch, we're talking unpaid overtime, we're talking getting fired with no notice, seemingly at random. It's bad.
And it's again the same thing where these devs that went to work there, they're like, this is the fucking Rockstar guy.
Yeah,
this is going to be a slam dunk.
It's in Edinburgh.
Yeah, like, I'm in at the ground level. Like, this is their first game, and I'm here to work on this game. It's going to be a huge hit, and then I got a career.
Yeah.
Like, I'll be here forever.
I fucking feel for them, man.
The game turns into this, and fucking everybody starts getting laid off.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. How much does this thing cost to make?
That's a good question. I would reckon... Actually, no, I heard it was about 32 mil. Because I heard that a big part of it is they ran out of money. They straight up ran out of money. I heard it was about 32 mil. So it's nowhere near a Concord level bomb.
No, but
although its meta score is like 40 points lower.
That's crazy.
I won't speak any more of the game because neither of us have played it, so I don't think that's entirely fair. But
yeah, we actually haven't played it, but just from what I've seen,
it's apparently really bad. Are we ready to move on to Xbox?
Xbox.
Yeah, so it seemed like in general receptions to Summer Game Fest were kind of all over the place.
Some people really liked it, some people really hated it, yeah.
Yeah, the Xbox show, I feel like everybody was kind of on the same level of this was
The first half was just a banger.
Yeah, first half was really good, and then the second half was not.
I was watching it sitting in my car in a parking lot. I couldn't make it home in time, and about maybe 3/4 the way through, I just turned it off.
Yeah. There is some other Xbox-related first-party stuff, which we'll get into after the showcase, but obviously the showcase is going to be, like, the main thing. What did they open with? They opened with The Outer Worlds 2. I have not seen the direct for that, by the way, but it looks good. The game looks good.
I am a certified Outer Worlds hater, and even I was like, this looks pretty decent. Maybe I'll actually play it.
I really did like The Outer Worlds, so I think it's good.
So now the funniest thing that could happen is if I really like it and you don't.
That would be fucking hilarious. That would actually be very funny.
That would be the
funniest possible outcome.
Yeah, that would be the best outcome.
It looks good. It's out October 24th with the 5-day early access. So 29th, but 24th really for 24th. That release date's going to be very notable for a reason which we're going to get into. High on Life 2 up next. They said coming this winter, so it's either end of this year or beginning of next. Probably beginning of next.
I feel like the last one just came out.
Yeah, it was like late 2022. I didn't play it, so I don't care. But it's a game. High on Life 2.
I played it. It was actually not bad.
Speaking of games that came out in late 2022 getting sort of sequels, this actually got leaked the day before the show, so everybody kind of knew this was a thing. But Resonance: A Plague Tale Legacy, which seems to be a much more combat-focused game than the Plague Tale ones. It's like a prequel, right?
Yeah, I'm actually quite interested.
I think it'll probably be good. I still need to play the Plague Tale games, but they look like the sort of thing I will enjoy when I finally get around to them.
I like the first one.
Did you not like the second?
The second one was okay.
I've heard some people say that they preferred the first one.
Yeah, the second one.
The second one was like better received overall. The second one got a Game of the Year nomination.
It did, for some reason.
To be fair, 2022 was a very top-heavy year. Like there was Elden Ring, there was God of War, and then there was like a few other games.
There was Elden Ring, and then there was everything else.
You say that, but God of War did win like 100 Game of the Year awards despite going up against Elden Ring.
But people still care about Elden Ring.
Wow, I mean...
And at this point, I think everybody agrees that the first, like, God of War is better than the second.
I don't think so. I still hear a lot of praise towards Ragnarok.
I don't know why Ragnarok fucking sucked.
But... I haven't played it. I don't have an opinion, but I don't
oh man,
agree
when
with
you play
what
it,
you're
you're gonna be like, I hope
sentiment.
I can crush this kid's skull.
I mean, I didn't mind him in the first game, so...
Oh my god,
whatever.
how? You should go back and play it again.
Yeah, I mean...
Man, I fucking hate this kid.
You have a very outlier opinion on God of War.
God, I hate that kid.
Anyway... Point is, there were two like major contenders that year, and then everything else was just kind of a thing. Anyway, we finally saw Silksong after that.
Yeah, for like 10 seconds.
For about 5 milliseconds. The Xbox handheld we talked about is it was officially announced, and it's out the end of this year.
You can play God of War on it.
You can, because that's on PC. I wonder if Sony will block it. I do wonder.
That'd be so petty, dude.
That would be... It's the sort of petty shit they would do, though.
It is the sort of... Sony would do that shit.
Which is funny, because one of the PS Plus games for GI is a Microsoft game.
It's Diablo 4.
Yeah.
Sony's slowly getting to the point, and I've talked about this before, where they're like PlayStation 2 era Sony. We're at the end of the PS2 era. They were like, we're the greatest ever. We can't do anything wrong. Here's a very overpriced console and a bunch of shit exclusives.
You say that, but the PS3 actually had very good exclusives, and literally yesterday they came out with a 90 Metacritic rated game.
At the start, the PS3 did not have fucking good exclusives. What are you talking?
Resistance? Hello?
Lair?
Okay, that one sucked, but Resistance was
Resistance 1 was okay. Resistance 2 is where it actually got good.
Anyway, I digress.
Haze? You wanna play some fucking Haze, bro?
Yo, whatever. There was that Ninja Theory game. Was it Heavenly Sword, was it?
Heavenly Sword!
I honestly don't remember that one very well, but...
Yeah, where she looks dead into the camera.
Uncharted, I think, was like 07.
Says, we may need you to play Twing Twang. And I was like, alright, fuck me. What is this?
But,
Uncharted 1 sucked. I'll fucking die on that hill. Uncharted 2 is one of the greatest third-person games ever created. But
I'd say Uncharted 1 was
sucked.
okay, and Uncharted 2 was, like, phenomenal.
Uncharted 2 is, like, the GOAT.
But, yeah. I think Sony are in arrogant Sony mode, but I think they are...
They need to get humbled by something. The last time they got humbled, they came out with the PS4.
Yeah, and the PS4
that whole lineup.
The PS4's lineup was insane.
They had fucking Bloodborne.
Although, the PS4 lineup was very back of the year heavy, and I suspect the PS5 lineup will be the same.
Yeah, the problem with PS5 is that there's... If I didn't own a PS5, there'd be no reason for me to buy one.
Yeah, you say that, but also, like, the game that very well could win Game of the Year came out as a PS5 exclusive literally yesterday, but we'll get to that.
Yeah, but I don't like Death Stranding.
Yeah, I know you don't. I know you don't, but but that's a subjective opinion.
It's fucking bad.
That's an opinion.
With the PS4, after I was done playing Bloodborne, I was like, what other cool games can I play? And there was a bunch of them.
Anyway, I digress. Obviously, Ghost of Yotei is coming out at the end of the year as well.
Yeah, or you could play one of the 10 remakes of Last of Us.
Anyway, we've already talked about the Xbox handheld. I think we've both kind of agreed it was a bad idea. It's apparently going to be $800 for the higher end model, which is insane.
I haven't looked into it much. Can you dock this thing?
No, it is a handheld PC.
It's handheld only?
It's basically a Steam Deck.
You can dock a Steam Deck, can't you?
Nope.
Pretty sure you can dock.
Nope.
That's fucking stupid. Yeah, you can dock a Steam Deck.
Oh, maybe there's third-party attachments that will let you do it, but
Yeah, no, you can just do it through USB-C.
Oh, right, that's not a dock, is it?
Because if you can dock... Yeah, you can dock the ROG Ally.
Okay. So you could probably do it with the Xbox as well. It's basically just a handheld PC. It's a ROG Ally, Steam Deck, whatever.
So honest to God, like, I might actually end up getting one years from now. Probably not like this one, like whatever the next one is. Just because you can dock it. It's a pain in the ass to carry around.
I hate handheld gaming.
I don't handheld game, but I do bring my Xbox to other places. You know?
Okay.
So it's much easier to do that with one of these. Like if Sony tomorrow released just a portable, the exact same thing, the ROG Ally PS5.
The PS5
I would be like,
portal,
but good.
Native, yeah. In fairness, the PS5 portal is actually apparently not bad.
Yeah, but I can't take that with me.
No, you can't. It's
in the middle of nowhere
Wi-Fi.
And plug it into a TV.
Yeah.
You know? So that's what I mean. Like, that's something that I could actually see it be useful for, but the actual handheld aspects of it, no. Xbox guys don't fucking mobile game. We've been over this.
Yeah, we've been over this.
They don't live in the city.
I should probably mention, this wasn't during the E3 show, but they also announced a limited edition MetaQuest as well. So they have a limited edition MetaQuest which is more expensive than the traditional MetaQuest, which it also includes a Game Pass or whatever. And then also basically an Xbox-branded ROG Ally. And also apparently the handheld they were working on that we said was on hold has basically been cancelled.
And then they came out and said that they're still working on hardware.
They are. They're working on AMD on the next-gen console.
So I'm assuming ROG is just going to keep making Xbox ROGs.
We'll see... I suspect that the next Xbox is going to be essentially a pre-built PC.
I think it comes out before the PS6.
I've heard 2027, so probably yes. Which feels way too soon to be talking next gen. But in fairness, there was no mid-gen Xbox. So.
This gen's kind of ass.
But I digress. Yeah, I will say that obviously COVID affected development cycles a lot.
Yeah, but I think the problem with this gen is that there wasn't really a leap.
Yes and no. Have you seen the fucking graphics for Death Stranding 2? Jesus Christ.
Yeah, like, sure, Death Stranding 2 looks good, but, like, God of War Ragnarok looked
Ragnarok
the same
was
as
on PS4,
God of War.
though. Yeah. It
like,
was
Elden Ring was just Dark Souls 3.
Both cross-gen, though. They were both PS4 games.
Like, Monster Hunter Wilds is Monster Hunter World.
Yeah, Monster Hunter Wilds looks actively terrible. I will give you that one. But
fucking Kingdom Come Deliverance is still Kingdom Come Deliverance.
That one does look way better, though. Like, a big visual uplift there.
But, like, it's not like, there was a big leap between the 360 to the PS4. There's a big leap from the PS2 to the 360.
I wouldn't say that it's any less than the leap from the 360 to the PS4.
They could have called the PS5 the PS4++.
No, because of the SSD. The SSD was a genuine game changer. I do think we have kind of reached diminishing returns on graphics, for sure.
Yeah, there's nothing, so people need to really stop...
but the SSD was a genuine game changer.
Trying to show off...
Have you seen the loading times for Death Stranding 2?
Yeah, they use Witch Magic.
You're fucking just crazy. But, yeah,
I actually had that back in the day with the first Dishonored. It had the same load time, but it's like a lost technology.
I suspect that the next Xbox is going to be running Windows, just like the II. And I suspect we'll also see third-party pre-built PCs branded as Xboxes. Well,
because the interesting thing is that when the Xbox team was told to make, like, they didn't stop with just the ROG. They said, we need you to make it so that Windows is gaming compatible.
Yes.
Which tells me that, yeah, it will be a Windows Xbox.
Yes.
Which, honest to God, we've talked about this before. Let me plug in a mouse and keyboard.
You can plug in a mouse and keyboard. You can already plug in a mouse and keyboard.
And we're good. If I could play all my Xbox stuff on basically a PC, I would do it.
That is the thing that I wonder, and will there still be backwards compatibility?
I assume so.
I almost guarantee you there will not be a disk drive.
They used wizardry. They used wizardry to make the original Xbox games run on that series.
Very few games do, though. It's very, very small.
But, like, even getting 360 games to run, emulation of 360 and Xbox games is really difficult.
Oh, yeah, no. Especially the original Xbox.
So I don't think they're going to toss that away.
I think it's going to depend on rights holders. Like, first-party titles, absolutely. Like Call of Duty, Halo, whatever, Doom. But, like, I feel like, because it would basically be available on Windows, and there could be rights problems of that. So
maybe.
Because it would basically be a port to Windows, which means Gears of War 2 and 3 would finally be playable on PC.
It's still awkward, like, really weird to me that Gears 2 was never on PC.
Yeah, they never put 2 and 3 on PC for some reason. Or Judgment, but nobody cares shit about Judgment.
Judgment was a game. Gears 2 is the best one.
Anywho,
Gears 2 is the best third-person shooter ever created.
I I think we've had that conversation. I already said I disagree.
We have.
I like Gears, but it's not like that crazy. Anyway, let's move back to the games, because it was just the Xbox Ally stuff that was discussed on the actual show. Beyond the Dawnwalker, this one looks good.
Yeah, they just had a big 20-minute showcase. It looks really good.
It's from former Witcher 3 guys, who are now gone off to do their own thing with Bandai Namco. Looks good. I think that was probably my second favourite game they showed off. So
the next one I'm taking, though. Goddamn Super Meat Boy 3D.
I am never going to play this, but I almost guarantee you it will probably be a good game.
For all the young ones out there, Super Meat Boy was a platformer game on the Xbox 360 arcade.
I think people know what Super Meat Boy is.
No, they're too young.
Do the youngins not know what Super Meat Boy is?
Yeah, they don't appreciate Super Meat Boy. Super Meat Boy is fucking awesome. And this just looks like hard Astrobot. And I'm down for that.
It's going to be very hard, though. So I'm not going to
Yeah, but that was the fun of Super Meat Boy. Like, Super Meat Boy was so hard.
Anyway, next up, another game that will probably be quite hard. Ninja Gaiden 4. Another first-party game. One of very few first-party games that actually showed up in the showcase, but this is Xbox Publishing. I hope this is good, but it's from Platinum Games, and Platinum Games have been kind of hit and miss lately. So
Ninja Gaiden, bro.
Yeah, but the idea of a Platinum Games Ninja Gaiden is very cool. I wonder how it's going to be in execution. It is out October 21st, which is 3 days before The Outer Worlds 2, but we're going to get to that. Indiana Jones DLC.
Like, throwing it out there that sure, Platinum Games missed on Babylon's Fall, but Bayonetta 3, Astral Chain, and Nier Automata were fucking awesome.
I'll give you Nier Automata, but
Bayonetta 3 was great, and Astral Chain was great.
I guess. I don't know. I don't think this is like... Because it's also being co-developed with Team Ninja. But Team Ninja, I think, are mostly working on Neo 3. That's like their main project. So it's like Platinum Games are making it with the supervision of Team Ninja. I do wonder how it will show out, but the release date is going to be something we'll talk about later in the show. Indiana Jones DLC. I think we both kind of liked, but did not love Indiana Jones. It was a good game.
It was a game.
It was a good one.
On a console that I played.
I'd be a bit more positive than that. I'd say it was a good game that I enjoyed.
It's not a game. If you ask me right now to, like, quickly run down the different parts of the game, I don't think I could tell you. It was a game. I enjoyed it when I played it, but
that's fair.
It reminded me of the first of the new Wolfensteins.
Well, same guys.
Where I played it and I was like, okay, that was a good game, and then I immediately just kind of forgot about it.
Anywho, DLC's out September 4th. Looks good. I'll probably play it. Game Freak showed up next with something that actually looked good somehow.
This blew my fucking mind.
Game Freak can make good games.
Game Freak makes amazing games. Fuck you.
Fuck off. They've never made anything better than dog shit.
Pokemon's awesome.
Dog shit.
Pokemon's great. You have no childhood because you're British.
Dog shit. Oh, God.
But Game Freak's showing up. Game Freak has always wanted to make other games besides Pokemon.
They finally got to make a game that looks good.
But the thing is that every time they made a game besides Pokemon, it was kind of bad. So now they actually have like a full development team for this to just focus on another game, and it looks really... Because you remember, like, the Pokemon games, it's not a big studio.
No. At all.
So they hired on a bunch of people to...
And they have the budget of, like, 2 cans of Coke.
But fuck, Game Freak's got so much money, they could make a beautiful game like this.
Anyway, carrying on. This is out 2026, by the way.
It looks so good.
Next up was my favorite game of the show by a very big distance. Clockwork Revolution, which is a game we saw a couple of years ago from In Exile. We got like a 5-minute trailer. It was like 5 minutes. We got a bit of a deep dive in it. I think it looks incredible. I think it looks really good.
You know how fucking ballsy you have to be to have a 5-minute trailer?
Well, here's the thing. This was the only first-party game from Microsoft that they showed off that is not set to release this year.
Yeah.
They showed
That's
nothing
confidence.
else. It's confidence in Clockwork, but it's not confidence in everything else.
Well, everything else is probably just still under development, right? Or they just don't want to show it yet.
They did say they did the same time pun in due time as they did after the first trailer, which to me says this is still at least 2 years away. I don't think this is out before 2027.
This is what Bioshock Infinite should have been.
No opinion. I haven't played it.
You haven't played Bioshock Infinite?
No.
It's the same kind of steampunky aesthetic, but still like gritty with the fucking powers and everything. But like it looks so much better.
But I think if this was 2026, they would have said it was 2026. So this is probably at bare minimum 2027.
What I'm thinking right now is that they're hoping it's winter 2026, but they don't want to have a delay.
No.
So it's better just to not. It's better to not announce the release date.
They already have Gears at the end of next year. They already have the new Modern Warfare at the end of next year, and they're probably going to have the Halo remake end of next year. They don't need Clockwork at the end of the year.
I think they do.
No.
Because that would be, if the next Xbox comes out in 2027, that would be the final year of the series.
Yes, it would.
So then that'd be a great time to go out. Just have a bunch of banger games.
Yeah, but they also, I mean, we're going to talk about this soon, but they're also kind of cannibalizing their own games. You could bookmark this. This is not coming out before 2027. I think it'll be very good when it does come out, but I don't think this is out until 2027 at the earliest.
And I will say, let me pull up 2026 here. I'm going to say this comes out November 13th, 2026.
Okay. Right. Matt Booty, funny name, haha. Everything day one in Game Pass. Okay. Well, no, everything from here is day one in Game Pass. And then they...
Which usually at the Xbox show, everything's day one on Game Pass.
Well, yeah, but not the early stuff. Yeah, Beyond the Dawnwalker's not day one on Game Pass.
I'm guessing by the end of development for Blood of the Dawnwalker, because it's still early, it'll be a Game Pass game.
Not day one. I bet it will show up like a year later. Bandai Namco don't typically do the Game Pass day one.
They also talked about the Minecraft movie and Fallout TV series. Forgot.
Yes.
That's the most important thing. This is the Minecraft movie.
Anyway, Obsidian, we're back with something else that I don't think anybody asked for, but Grounded is getting a sequel. I don't care.
I like Grounded 1.
I don't care. Sorry, I don't care.
I actually like Grounded 1.
Interesting that Eidos Montreal are co-developing this, which is interesting.
That's the first one was a very small team.
Yeah, and this time Eidos Montreal co-developing it, which is very interesting to me because Eidos are also co-developing Fable. So, yeah, this was kind of where the show started falling off a cliff.
Talk about the next game they showed off looked fucking awesome.
Chronos did. This was at the last big thing before it really started falling off a cliff. It's from Buba Team, so they're on a bit of a roll right now with Silent Hill. So maybe they'll get this one good.
Cook.
Chronos for New Dawn. Elder Scrolls Online, don't care.
Once more though, shout out to Blooper Team because
oh yeah, everybody hated them, and now they have respect.
And they somehow convinced them to be like, no, just give it another try.
I should probably also mention, because this is probably just a good point, they did recently confirm that Buba Team are working on a Silent Hill 1 remake. So, we're getting a Silent Hill 1 remake.
Yeah.
Also, the Silent Hill 2 movie is coming out in January, which means it's probably terrible because it's a January movie.
I have to like the Silent Hill movies because they were filmed 20 minutes away from where I live.
Oh, okay. Anyway, next up, Don't Nod, after Elder Scrolls Online, which nobody cares about. Aphelion 2026. That looks
actually looks
kind of interesting. Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah.
No Ghosts at the Grand. I don't think anybody kind of knows what this is, but looked kind of interesting.
Watching this trailer was like tripping on acid.
It was very weird. I don't know what to make of it, but I'm not ruling it out. It looks kind of interesting.
It's very confusing.
Age of Mythology, don't care. Oh, this one. This was the most exciting new announcement. Sort of. And I'm going to caveat this. First off, I absolutely thought this was Splinter Cell a little bit before it became very obvious it wasn't.
Yeah, I can see why you would think it was.
It's a single-player shooter set on the Korean peninsula. Mudang Two Hearts. I'm going to say two things about this game. First of all, this looks fucking sick. Second of all, it's giving off serious fake game red flags.
Why do you think that?
I'm getting MindsEye vibes from it. I'm getting this is a hyper edited trailer, almost like the day before.
But this is a Korean game, isn't it?
Yes, Korean game, yeah.
So then there's two options.
Either it's
either
great or
it comes
it's terrible.
either it comes out and it's fucking awesome, or we never hear about it again.
I was right, and it's basically the day before over again.
Because there's a game that I've been waiting to show up, and I thought it showed up, and it turned out not to be. But it was this game called Dokkaebi, which is a Korean game,
Okay.
and it was announced like 5 years ago.
Yeah, that's never coming out.
And it just hasn't showed up ever.
No, I will say I think the trailer for Mudang looks fantastic. To be frank, I think it looks fantastic. Some of the animations are industry-leading level, but almost to the point where they look too good to be true. I will say, just as 007 was the best announcement of State of Play, and Resident Evil was the best announcement of Summer Game Fest, I think this was the best new announcement. Because Clockwork was the best game they showed off, but I think this was the best new announcement they showed.
But I also think that like Korea also just has really, really good developers.
Maybe, but I will say I'm excited, but a little bit cautious because there's a couple.
And like they can push them graphics. Like you never played Stellar Blade.
No, it does look very good. I'll give you that. It's more about the animations than the graphics, though. The animations just look. I mean,
well, even the animation in Stellar Blade was fantastic because it was all completely mocap.
Yeah, but it wasn't like.
So I could see these crazy Koreans
when I
setting up all the things that these people are doing. I could see them set that up in a giant studio and just mocap
like
it.
The most fluid animations in a video game for like a third-person game, the one that would immediately come to mind is The Last of Us Part 2.
Or Assassin's Creed Unity, but yes.
Well, no, Assassin's Creed Unity's animations were quite unpolished and janky. We're talking animations, how they look.
Yeah.
So definitely not Unity.
It was Unity.
No.
You should really replay Unity.
No. But this looked on the level of The Last of Us 2's combat animations.
Yeah, and what they did with The Last of Us 2 was they set up a giant friggin' place, and they literally just mocapped everything.
If this does come out and it is as good as this trailer, then I'd be very happy. But I have a little bit of concern. But anyway, moving on.
I believe in Korea.
Piano de Viana 2. Don't care. Have you played the first one?
I can't believe this got... Yeah, I wasn't expecting it to get a sequel.
It's coming to PS4, which is interesting.
Yeah, it's,
PS4 logo. PS4 logo on an Xbox showcase. That's the first.
Just fucking throw it on everything, man. But the first one was really good. It's actually well worth the play.
76, nope.
Gone fishing, baby.
Solo.
If there's one thing I love,
we
it's
are not
goddamn
talking. We
fishing.
are not talking for Fallout.
I love Fallout 76.
Shut up.
It is fun.
Bad.
Play Fallout 76.
Dog shit. Anyway, Solo Leveling.
This will probably be the highest selling game of the show.
Well, no, because Call of Duty.
No, Solo Leveling. If there's anything that could do it,
no,
it's Solo Leveling.
Anyway,
Solo Leveling, when a new episode would come out, would crash the server of not only the official streaming sites that it was out on, but it would crash all the pirate streaming sites that it would come out on.
I mean, that is funny, but also...
The fan base is fucking ginormous.
Yeah, but it's not on the level of a Call of Duty, let's be real.
Honest to God, them Chinese and Koreans, man.
Anyway,
they love their solo leveling.
Anemo! This looked awful.
I was confused as to what... I thought this was a Pal World update.
It looks really bad.
And then it wasn't. And I was like, and then I thought it was Dokkaev for a second, and then it wasn't. And then I was pissed.
We got a trailer for Tony Hawk 3 and 4, which is the second time we saw the PS4 logo in an Xbox show.
Based. Tony Hawk's awesome.
Yeah, but we already knew it was coming, so it kind of does nothing. This one was really kind of interesting. At Fate's
I really like
End,
Spiritfarer.
This one does look kind of good. It's like a Metroidvania type of thing. Honestly, the Lost Crown kind of won me over towards Metroidvanias as a genre. I never really cared about them before, but now I want to play more because of the Lost Crown. Which I guess is a really positive thing to say about the Lost Crown.
That is a really positive thing to say about the Lost Crown. You should play more Metroidvanias. They're good.
That's what I was saying, is that it's
really
made
good.
me want to. Gears of War Remastered, we've already talked about that. We already knew it was coming in August.
They should have done the Mad World trailer.
I'll get you to take this one.
Persona 4. They had to unveil it because it got leaked like 40 different times. So they took alpha gameplay.
They showed like 10 microseconds of it.
And they showed off like 10 seconds of alpha gameplay. I don't know if this is... I don't know if this is on Unreal or not. Because right now they're transitioning from the P engine to Unreal. Like Metaphor was in the P engine, but Persona 3 Reload was in Unreal. So
I mean, Metaphor ran pretty bad.
Well, that P engine is old.
Yeah.
Like we talked about this in DMs, but like Metaphor reused a lot of stuff from Persona 5, a lot of animations, a lot of stuff like that.
We'll talk about Metaphor when we talk sales numbers.
The art style that they had to use in Metaphor covered up the fact that the engine is that old.
Oh, it's a good looking game. But visually, it's a good looking game.
Persona 4 Remake on Unreal could probably be one of the best looking RPGs ever made. If not the best. Persona 4 is a really cool world. It's a little Japanese town in the middle of nowhere, and they go into TVs to try to prevent murders. Mm-hmm. That's what it's about. And like the visuals will just be crazy. It's gonna be so good.
I have no opinion on it. So
I was losing my shit. You should play Persona.
I'm glad you're happy.
What will it take to convince you to play Persona 4?
Never hear a negative word about Death Stranding ever again.
Done. If you start Persona tonight, done.
Well, no, I don't have time at the minute, but... Sea of Thieves. Don't care.
I got 2 friends that still play Sea of Thieves. They were happy.
Invincible fighting game. This kind of got
my most disappointing game of the show.
I had a feeling it was a fighting game because I think I read a rumor that the Invincible game in development was a fighting game.
All I wanted it was to not be a fighting game.
And then we get to talk about Final Fantasy VII Remake. Xbox.
They're putting a game I kind of enjoyed and then a game I hate on Xbox. Good job.
I enjoyed Remake. I did not like Rebirth. They are also putting Final Fantasy VII Remake is on Xbox this winter, and as well as the Nintendo Switch 2. Final Fantasy 16 is making the jump to Xbox today.
Yeah, it was out.
They did not mention Rebirth, but I heard that's coming in 2026.
Yeah, I'm assuming Rebirth's around the corner. But look, I liked Final Fantasy 16 kind of. I thought it was like a 7, maybe a 6.5.
Okay.
They gotta figure out that fucking franchise, man. They really do. They gotta go back to turn-based.
I actually heard Square Enix say that it's like, oh yeah, Clair Obscur was very successful, so maybe we'll do some more turn-based stuff.
Yeah, I think Expedition 33 showing that, yeah, you can just make a turn-based kind of dark RPG, and it'll work.
I did enjoy Remake. it was the pacing of Rebirth that really killed it for me. And
Remake would have been better as a turn-based game.
And the ending. The ending of Rebirth was really shit.
Sorry, FF7 Remake and Rebirth would be better if it was a turn-based game that didn't butcher the characters that it portrayed.
I don't have any issue with the combat. I think the combat's actually fantastic.
Combat sucks.
I disagree, but that is what it is. Anywho, Double Fine showed up. There were rumors they were going to show up. They did show up. What the fuck was this game?
Yeah, this one, I missed this trailer because I turned it off after the Final Fantasy stuff.
Just sees Final Fantasy VII Remake and it's like, nope.
Yeah, I saw Final Fantasy. I was like, okay, that's it for the show. They're not going to show anything cool. Then I got home and watched this, and I was like, what the fuck?
It could be good, but this trailer told me nothing.
They make the weirdest shit, man.
It could be good, and this is how I want to talk about release dates. This is a first-party title from Microsoft. It is coming October 17th, which means Microsoft are publishing 3 games. Keeper, Ninja Gaiden 4, and The Outer Worlds 2 in the space of 7 days.
I don't think any of those cannibalize each other, though.
I think Ninja Gaiden 4 and The Outer Worlds 2 can coexist together. I think for a small game like Keeper, putting it in the middle of fall, surrounded by other big games, is a very bad idea.
The Double Fine people are gonna buy it and play it, or play it on Game Pass.
It feels like the sort of game that would really do well in January or GI, or just like a really quiet time. This feels like a South of Midnight situation, because South of Midnight was basically cannibalized.
We will see how Microsoft truly handles release dates when the next Halo's coming out.
Yes, we will. Which kind of doubles back to what you were saying about Clockwork. I think this is not a particularly smart idea, to be honest. I know that these are 3 very different genres. You know, you got the hardcore action hack and slash, you got the FPS RPG, and you've got... I don't even know what genre Keeper is. Fucking walking sim, maybe. I don't know. They're very different games. But I think it's very weird that they're putting them all out so quick together. And I guarantee one of them just completely flies under the radar. And it'll probably be Keeper.
Yeah. Well, it's a small game to begin with. It's a double.
Yeah, it's not their main team, apparently. This is from Guy Petty, not Tim Schafer. So.
Yeah, I was gonna say this isn't. This doesn't look like one of the big games. I wonder what their big game will be.
I do wonder, but it's not coming to PS5, interestingly. It's like the one Microsoft game that's not coming to PS5. Clockwork Revolution was also not announced for PS5, but I suspect it will be once we actually get a release date for it.
I'm assuming it will.
Probably will, but it's too far out. So it could be PS6 at this point.
Still think it comes out November 13th.
No, 2027.
And I think next year's Call of Duty comes out early.
I think it is more likely it's 2028 than it is 2026. I will say that.
I think the next Call of Duty comes out early. I think it comes out in September.
I think it's the end of October, because that's Modern Warfare 2 and Modern Warfare 1 came out.
I'm going to say September 25th.
I'm going to say like last week of October.
Microsoft really likes their Septembers.
They do, but they're not putting anything out in September this year.
Yeah, which is weird.
But
some of their biggest games they've ever done came out in September.
Given the delay of a certain game, 8 September is looking pretty open, so...
Yeah, they gotta contend with fucking Grand Theft Auto next year.
Phil shows up saying Fable and new Forza, which is presumably a new Forza Horizon, and Gears, and one other major Xbox classic are coming in 2026.
If the next Forza is in either Japan or Canada, it's the best Forza Horizon ever made.
I assume it's Forza Horizon and not Forza Motorsport.
Yeah, it's Horizon.
So Forza, Fable, Gears, and I presume the game he was teasing was the Combat Evolved remake.
Yeah.
Which is all cool and well, but they didn't fucking show any of it. Would have been nice to get some Gears gameplay. I did say I had a feeling Fable wasn't going to show, because it was supposed to be out this year, and then they delayed it. I suspect that Fable was supposed to get the big post-show direct, but
it's
they
Outer
gave
Worlds
it
2
to Outer
now.
Worlds because they had to delay it.
Actually,
Anyway, one more thing. Now, normally, when they do a big one more thing, it's supposed to be something cool that nobody sees coming, like Cyberpunk 2077, or Gears of War, or, I don't know, the Marvel fighting game at the
I thought it was
Sony
going to be
State of Play.
Fable.
It was fucking COD.
If I'm Microsoft, I'm not showing Call of Duty ever at one of these. I will have a separate event.
Call of Duty players do not watch these shows. People that watch these shows do not play Call of Duty. The one exception to this is me. But, I should probably mention that both me and Connor are going to be at the Call of Duty League finals this weekend. So it's kind of funny that we're just shitting on COD right now.
But like, I see your point. Like, they should not have shown off Call of Duty. It was really, the trailer was really cool.
Yeah, trailer looks good. Call of Duty's, it's a Black Ops 2 sequel, and Black Ops 2 is really good. Although, given that this is a smaller game, I'm worried it's going to be like almost like a Warzone campaign, like Modern Warfare 3 was. Because it's Sledgehammer again. But you don't use that as the end of show thing. Like, honestly, you could have done Keeper as the end of show thing. Because at least that's something that nobody really knows what it is.
I would have taken Stranger Than Heaven again.
Well, yeah, but they probably don't have the marketing rights for that.
Just do it again. Show the same trailer, I would have been hyped.
Yeah, weird show, I think.
If it was like Persona 6 to end, fuck, that would have blown my mind.
Tell you what I was thinking? I thought it was Remedy. I thought it was like a Control sequel. Or something in the Control universe.
But no, it was Call of Duty.
Call of Duty. Which is honestly very unexciting. It might be good, but it's not exciting. Because we know it's coming. It's a known quantity. Last year they opened the show with Call of Duty. And I think you can open a show with COD, but I don't think you should close one with it.
Yeah, it's
I think it's probably the most underwhelming One More Thing in the history of One More Things. And compare it to the other two shows, where we got the Marvel Fighter and Resident Evil 9, which I guess Resident Evil 9 wasn't a surprise, but it was also oh, this is fucking cool. And it was a trailer that they kind of concealed what it was for a while.
We thought it was Agent.
That was so stupid. That was so stupid.
I was like, is this fucking Agent?
It looked kind of Rockstar-esque.
Yeah, because I saw like the
GTA
suits.
6 was the fucking last trailer.
Well, they showed the FBI, and I was like, no way, it's fucking Agent.
Oh god.
Which has never been officially canceled.
They did use the trademark for it though.
Yeah, maybe they just changed the name.
But
Agent 2.
There was some good stuff in the show. Clockwork Revolution was good. And Beyond the Dawnwalker was good. Beast of Reincarnation, you're good. The first half of the show was actually pretty good. And then the back half was a bunch of nothing. Mudang looked good, but I'm a little bit concerned that it's fake-ish. And At Fate's End looked pretty good. And Keeper I don't know what to think of it. It's a game. It's a game, and it might end up being the last ever Xbox exclusive. Because it's not coming to PS5 for some reason. Everything else, kind of I think it's the weakest of the three shows by a pretty wide margin.
Weakest of the three?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No. Easy no. Easy no. Easy no.
I would give the
Outer Worlds 2 looks good. Ninja Gaiden 4 looks good. They showed off Gears of War Reloaded.
If I had to give a post
Clockwork
E3
Revolution.
If I had to give a post E3 rating to each of the shows, and this takes in every aspect of a good show. Like, think of like the gold standard for shows, which would be like Sony's E3 2016, Xbox's E3 last year, where it was exciting game that I really want to play and well paced. Those are, and obviously also having a good one more thing also really helps. I would give the Sony show a 7 because there was some good shit. There was 007, there was the Thief VR game, there was the Marvel fighting game. It was relatively well paced. I would give Summer Game Fest a 5. There was some good stuff, very poorly paced. The one more thing was very cool. And I would give the Xbox show a 4.
I would give Sony a 6. I'd give State of Play a 7. Or not State of Play, sorry. Summer Games Fest a 7. And then I would give Xbox a 7.5.
Ooh, wow! With that second half? With that second half.
Clockwork Revolution, Blood of the Dawnwalker.
There were some good games. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
I said there was some good games.
Kill, Super Meat Boy. Even the like the later half of it, it was Persona. They showed off Persona 4.
That does nothing for me, so.
They showed off that Metroidvania one, the guys that did Spiritfarer. Like, those are 2 games I'm very interested in. Literally, the weakest game they showed was the Invincible fighting game in the later half of it.
I think they showed a lot of stuff I just didn't care about in the
But, like, Keeper looks fucking weird, and I don't care for it too much.
No, I don't really care for it much either.
Final Fantasy is big for people who want to play Final Fantasy, even if I don't like them.
Yeah, but they're already out. I say this with Nintendo Directs. I do not care about ports. I don't care about ports.
Like, yeah, no, I think it was a good show. I think it was better than State of Play. It was better than Summer Games Fest. Summer's Game Fest dragged.
It did. To be fair, I think this show kind of dragged as well.
I didn't feel it drag. And again, I was sitting in a car in a parking lot. It was hot.
That might have helped it. The fact that you were only half watching it.
If it was dragging, like, I would have felt it because I'm just sitting still in a parking lot.
In a way, I feel like it would be the opposite. I feel like you would be less likely to think it dragged.
But, like, Mudang looks really good.
I will say Mudang looks good. I am just a little bit concerned.
Mudang is past the halfway point of the show.
I will. It is like the one thing that did kind of interest me. And I do think there's 2 other things that really bring the show down for me. Number 1, ending with Call of Duty. Bad decision. Like, really bad decision. Kills the hype. Secondly, there really was not much first-party stuff. The only first-party announcements were Grounded 2, Keeper, and Call of Duty.
I don't care for
any of those. Yes, but here's the thing. We know Sony's first-party studios are kind of all over the place right now. We expect that.
Yeah, you can't just give that to Sony and not do the same thing for Microsoft.
Well, here's the thing. Microsoft's in a much better situation.
They delay Fable, and they go, this is our lineup for the year.
Connor, do you mind? Do you mind letting me finish?
They showed off the Outer Worlds. That's a first person.
Yeah, yes, but we already knew it was coming out. We're talking announcements.
So they did the same thing for Ghosts, so then you can't count Ghosts, and then that whole State of Play falls apart.
Well, I count Ghosts in the same way I count the Outer Worlds too, but we're going to talk... I'm specifically talking about an aspect of the show. Not the whole show, an aspect of the show.
Cap it a little bit.
Think of the games that Microsoft have coming up. Perfect Dark, I was hoping to see.
No, too far out.
Gears of War, I was definitely expecting to see. Blade, we could have seen. No, we're not going to see Gears of War. We're not going to see Gears of War till next year. No, we don't see it at Gamescom. Yeah, no.
Yeah, doesn't it come out early next year?
No, end of next year.
Oh, it's the end of next year. Yeah. I thought it was early. For some reason, I thought it was like February, March of next year.
No, they just said 2026. It'll probably be September again.
Okay, then we see it next year.
But We didn't see Perfect Dark. I was hoping Perfect Dark would be 2026. So that's a big disappointment to me that we didn't see that.
I didn't think we were going to see Perfect Dark.
We didn't see Blade. I figured that was out 2027, but I could have seen maybe another teaser for it.
Blade went through development hell.
We did not see Heyo at all. I was thinking maybe we see at least a teaser for Heyo.
No, it's too soon.
And yeah, but for a teaser? I don't know.
There's no point in teasing it.
We didn't see Forza. I expected we'd see Forza.
They teased Halo Infinite, and it made the reveal of Halo Infinite worse.
True. Valid point, actually. They showed some cool stuff, but they didn't show what I wanted to see. And as such, the stuff that they did show kind of felt underwhelming.
If I judged every game show like that, there would never be a good state of play ever.
Well, here's the thing. I'm not judging the whole thing on this, but I'm saying that it does drag it down.
Like, if I was like, oh, they didn't announce the games I wanted to see.
I get what you're saying.
Games that we got were better than the lineup for Summer Games Fest and State of Play.
Are we talking specifically first party here or the whole show in general?
No, I'm talking just the games in general.
Okay, I will say the first half of the show, sure, fine. With the exception of 007 First Light, fine. And I do want to acknowledge some bias on the state of play, but I did see 007, and that was like the one game.
Like, the best thing announced at the state of play was a remake. Man? Well, it's not even a remake, it's a remaster.
But 007, I do admit a bit of bias towards the state of play because I got to see the one game I really wanted to see. Like, that is.
I was really surprised it showed up there, considering IOI had their own.
No, I expected it because Hitman 3 showed up at the PS5 reveal. I expected it would show up.
But like,
I told you I expected it would show.
Like, if you're going bar for bar, like Clockwork Revolution, Blood of the Dawnwalker, Persona 4.
I will say that Pragmata was more interesting than Blood of the Dawnwalker, and I will say that 007 First Light was better than Clockwork Revolution.
No.
Dude, 007 First Light is like by far my most anticipated game right now. Like, by far.
I'm going to say hard no. I need to see more 007. They just showed us 5 minutes of gameplay Clockwork Revolution.
It does look very good. I said that. It was my highlight of the show. And
like, even if we're comparing, like, you want to go comparing, like, remaster to remake
also,
or whatever.
You said it was a 6.5. Because I remember you texted me that the show was a 6.5. And then in this podcast, you say a 7.5.
Yeah, because I was watching it in my car. I missed, like, a good chunk of it.
Even a 6.5. I read that at the time, and I'm like,
I didn't see Blood of the Dawnwalker until I came back and kind of rewatched parts of the show. Yeah. So, like, I missed Blood of the Dawnwalker. I missed the Plague Tale game.
Plague Tale's kind of whatever for me. I haven't played the first two, so it doesn't do much. Yours cool,
I missed,
but I haven't played the first two. So.
The Ninja Gaiden 4 trailer I missed.
I'm probably not going to play it, so I don't care.
Like, the only things I really saw was, like, Super Meat Boy and then the later half of the show. So it was, like, P4... That's it. It wasn't until I went back.
But
once I go back and I look at the games, though, yeah, these games, it's the best lineup that was announced that week.
I disagree. I disagree. There was some good stuff, but on average, no.
Especially if I use your rules, in which case they were all shit. I didn't get a new Banjo and I didn't get a new Sly Cooper.
I did want to say, I think overall, I think the Summer Showcase was... The Summer Showcase season was relatively disappointing.
It was weaker than normal,
It was not a particularly great show. Like even the 7 for the State of Play, I think is significantly boosted by the fact I got to see 007.
State of Play kind of ass, bro.
You said it was good on the Ass podcast. You are baiting now. You are baiting. Ass. You just said it was a 6.
That was before we saw everything else. Yeah, 6 is kind of ass, bro.
Not really. 6 is above average.
But, like, Pragmata looks cool. Final Fantasy Tactics was the game of the show. I don't care for the Marvel fighting game.
I'll probably play it.
Sea of Remnants looks interesting. Romeo is a Dead Man looks interesting, but I probably won't play it.
No, Romeo is a Dead Man does look very good. And also Silent Hill F.
Neo 3 looks cool, but it's Neo.
Silent Hill F as well. So, yeah, I thought it was a relatively good show. It was also the shortest of the three by a significant margin, which helps.
Ghosts is just Ghosts. And yeah, 007 looks cool. I'd like to see more of it.
I have full... Because it's basically just going to be Hitman with a bit more action. So... Like I said, I think overall, I think the Summer Showcase Yarn, it was disappointing. But like I said, there are two shows I use as an example of the gold standard of a show. And that is E3 2016 Sony and 2024 Microsoft. Both of those events had immaculate pacing and were heavily focused on first party.
The 2024 Microsoft Showcase, it was only like an hour long.
It was an hour long.
Announcement after announcement.
Yeah, it was
announcement.
near perfect. Like, and in fairness, they did say that this year's show wasn't going to be as good. They said that to temper expectations. They kind of knew that they had some ass coming.
Yeah.
But
you know what's a weird one that didn't show up that I just thought about? Speaking of 2024 Microsoft, State of Decay 3 didn't show up.
Yes, I expected that to show up as well. Yes, and Everwild. But
yeah.
And Contraband. What the hell is going on with Contraband at this point?
You know what? Looking back, I just pulled up the Xbox Showcase 2024 title.
It was a way better show.
We got some bangers here, like Dragon Age: The Veilguard.
Okay, yeah.
That was like
the one major down point, okay?
The other banger they have is Assassin's Creed Shadows.
Okay, first off, I'm
South
still
of
working.
Midnight, Straight Fire.
South of Midnight was okay, in fairness.
It was okay. Avowed.
But you're also kind of nitpicking, because none of those got particularly big
No,
things.
it's just funny that we're talking about how great it was. And it is a great show. They have a really good list of stuff here.
Every good show has some dog shit. Everyone.
I remember when they showed Dragon Age: The Veilguard.
Oh yeah, I remember even at the time we'd be like, that doesn't look good.
I think the first 40 seconds, I was like, this looks so good. And then they got into the gameplay, I'm like, this is going to be fucking awful.
But no, they showed some really good shit. And obviously the Game Awards...
Stalker 2.
The Game Awards this year had some really good shit. And, I mean, we compared...
Flintlock.
Yeah, I mean...
I forgot they showed Flintlock.
But I feel like you're focusing on, like... Because they open with... Let me see for yes. Let me look up the Xbox Game Showcase 2024. They had Doom. They had Clair Obscur. They had... Okay, thank you. That's helpful. Indiana Jones, Gears, Doom, Fable, Perfect Dark. Perfect Dark just looked incredible. I really wanted to see more of that.
Perfect Dark was the game of the show.
That was a game that I was really disappointed not to see.
I'm kind of glad we didn't see it.
But like the top games they showed, maybe with the exception of Expedition 33, there was your first party there. You know, there was Perfect Dark, there was Fable, Gears, Doom, Indie, and like a really good looking Call of Duty trailer, in fairness. Which was in a correct spot of the show rather than ending with it.
Of this list, we have one game that's over 90 on Metacritic.
Most of them aren't out yet.
Yeah, I know.
Gears isn't out. So Perfect Dark's not out.
Like, it's Expedition 33, and then everything else that released around it, I think all have roughly the same score, which is funny.
I think Stalker 2 is a fair bit lower than the others.
Stalker 2 lower?
It's like 74, I think. It was really buggy at launch. Like, really, 75. Really buggy. I will say Stalker 2 is... I would have played it if not for the bug. 73 on Metacritic.
I love Stalker 2. It was so good.
73.
It was so good, dude. It was exactly what I wanted. It was perfect.
That's fair, but I just heard it was like way too buggy. It's like, okay, no. But Atom
So
4
I wonder-
is also a game they showed off that I still want to play.
I wonder if any of these games can beat the critical reception that Expedition 33 got.
I would say it would either be Fable or Perfect Dark. I would say it would either be Fable or Perfect Dark.
That's actually like a fun special edition podcast idea. Going back for all like the state of plays and Xbox showcases and stuff like that, and looking at the list and seeing what the highest rated game of each one is.
That is an interesting idea.
That would be a very interesting idea, because we would pick like what our favorite game from the list and then see which one was the highest rated.
Yeah. Anyway, what I was saying
There would be some fucking bloodbath ones with the Sonys, though.
MindsEye. Anyway, I think the show they had last year was really, really good. Like, really well paced. A lot of very good looking games shown. Most of which still aren't out yet, mind.
Do we count the 4 seconds of Silksong?
No, because they don't show it on the graphic. They don't
Totally
show it
should.
on the graphic.
That game could beat Expedition 33.
Oh, you're talking 2025 showcase. I thought we were talking 2024 showcase. Clockwork Revolution could.
2025.
That's about it. Maybe The Outer Worlds 2, but that's like a hard maybe.
Persona 4.
I could see Beyond of the Dawnwalker do it. I could see Beyond of the Dawnwalker do it. Sorry, the Beyond of Dawnwalker. That really doesn't flow off the tongue as well.
They should take off the part of that.
No, Beyond of the is the
Yeah,
Beyond of Dawnwalker
like they
is too
should
much of a...
change it. It's the Blood of Dawnwalker,
Yeah,
not Blood of the Dawnwalker.
Yeah, they should just move the.
They're European.
Yeah, so are they. They should know better.
Yeah, it's weird European.
But no, there were a lot of games I was expecting to see. I was expecting to see Perfect Dark. I was expecting to see State of Decay.
Overall, for the summer showcase kind of
mid.
fucking season, 0 out of 10. We didn't see Dokkaebi. There was no Sly Cooper. I didn't get a Banjo-Kazooie.
Tell you what I was expecting, because it got leaked, was going to be there. Toys for Bob did not show.
They just didn't. Yeah.
There was rumors there was going to be the new Spyro from them. And no.
Nothing.
It just wasn't there. And here's the thing. The fact that the only first-party announcements we got were Call of Duty, Grounded, and Keeper, which might be good, but I honestly have no clue. Meh. And then also, almost everything they showed was stuff that we already knew was coming. Like I said, surprise is a big factor in these shows for me. And like, I don't know if I'm hyped for the Marvel fighting game per se, but it was a big surprise that they're doing it. So it was like, oh, that's cool. I never got an
fighting game.
I never got an oh, that's cool from this. Maybe Beyond of the Dawnwalker, but I'd already seen a trailer for that.
Persona.
Does nothing for me, like I said.
Yeah, see, that's the problem. You don't play good game.
Anywho, I think we should probably move on. Actually, no, sorry. Do want to mention, because we talked about the hardware stuff and the Diablo 4 stuff. 2 quick Microsoft pieces of news. Hellblade 2 is coming to PS5. We knew it was coming, but now it's like August 12th or something.
And now they magically can make it 60 FPS.
That is so funny. That is so funny. Now it's getting a 60 FPS mode. Yeah. And also, they responded to a Halo fan-made Vampire Survivors spin-off. And this was like, actually something cool that they did. It was like, yeah. They were kind of expecting a cease and desist, but they're like, nah, go ahead. Cool. Have fun.
Okay. Imagine you're the developer of this game. You wake up in the morning and there's an email in your inbox.
You are
and it's just
me.
Microsoft, and you're like, fuck.
Shit.
And you open it, and they're just like, yo, this is kind of sick, dude. Keep going with it. We like what you're doing.
I do criticize Phil Spencer's Xbox quite a lot, but that is actually relatively good shit.
If I'm Microsoft, I'm literally just like hiring those devs and releasing it as a little $5 game.
Oh yeah. Anyway,
Like, you might as well.
I think we're ready to move on now, unless we got any other E3 stuff to talk about. Relatively disappointing season. Like, the showcases combined.
Yeah, I would say it wasn't the best for E3 season this year. It wasn't the worst.
Wasn't the worst. Definitely not the worst. But it was
Definitely not the worst.
kind of eh. It was disappointing, I would say.
Persona 4 is getting a remake. It's all that matters.
Anywho, Sony stuff. We do have some Sony stuff to talk about. We already mentioned it, but Death Stranding 2 is out. Has like a 90 on Metacritic. So I'm going to play it. I will be streaming it. There will be content. There will be a review. I promise. I just got to get through these next few weeks.
Shout out to Kojima making a game.
Yeah, Kojima made a game. And did you see the meme I retweeted this morning?
No, I'll probably never play it.
I'm gonna send you this meme. Actually, no, I'll do it later. But it was a pretty good meme I saw. I'm definitely gonna play it. I'm a Kojima simp. So,
I'm a
PS5
Kojima simp, but only for his good stuff.
PS5 is apparently Sony's most profitable hardware generation ever.
Yeah.
Which is because the console's $700 fucking dollars.
I was about to say, the console is fucking overpriced. They both are.
That's probably why. They were asked what they thought about the Nintendo Switch.
Actually, hold up. Not only is it priced higher, the controllers are priced higher. Every accessory is more expensive.
So it's not
and the games are more expensive.
Surprising. Oh, but the games are way more expensive to make. The profit margins for games are way slimmer now than it used to be.
I wonder if we count for inflation, if it's still the most profitable.
Inflation changes all the time, so it would be hard to tell. Anyway, I digress. Obviously, we said in the earnings call it was like 77 million units or whatever. So
pretty good.
They were asked what they thought about the launch of the Switch 2, which we should probably mention has actually sold well. Like I said, it would. It would launch well and then fall off afterward. It did launch well, 3.5 million in its first 4 days, I think.
That's very well.
We'll note it did not sell out.
Sold, but there's
loads,
completely different from the last time.
Yeah, there's loads of stock.
When the Switch 1 came out, Nintendo was coming off the Wii U, so they were like, guys, we're hoping for 1 million.
And they got they probably could have got 10.
Yeah.
If they had the stock, they could have got 10. But Sony were asked what they thought about it, and they said the corpo nicety speak version of "ha ha ha no."
Nintendo operates. We've said this before.
They basically said if you want if you want to have high end gaming on a TV, then you want a PS5, which is true.
But if you want
Nintendo
fun games, you buy a Switch.
Basically, Sony are saying they're a completely different market. They do not see Nintendo.
Yeah,
as
they're completely different. Not like business models. Like Nintendo just makes Nintendo games for people who like Nintendo.
Yeah, and Sony make games for everybody else.
But Nintendo is a cult, and Sony will never be a cult. Ever.
I will say Sony have mini cults for different studios. They have their Naughty Dog cult. They have their
when I was in Japan, bro, there was Nintendo stores everywhere. There's
for sure.
Pokemon stores everywhere. I saw so many Switches, it was unbelievable.
No, I get what you're saying. But Sony, because Nintendo have all their first party games, they developed by Nintendo, published by Nintendo.
Yeah.
And Sony have their fandoms, but they're very segmented. They have a Naughty Dog fandom. They have a God of War fandom. They have a Sly Cooper fandom.
Who likes Sly Cooper.
They have Kojima fandom. They have different stuff. Sucker Punch fandom, Insomniac Spider-Man, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it's just they're a little bit more diversified in their portfolio. I think. If you're a Nintendo fan, you're a fan of all of their stuff. Meanwhile, you might be a Sony fan and you only play for The Last of Us or Uncharted.
Yeah, that's what I mean. But Nintendo knows this.
Yeah.
And anybody who's a Nintendo fan typically plays all of them.
Yeah. And Sony know this too. They know that they are a completely different part of a market. And they were asked, are you worried about the Switch 2? And they're like, no.
Like, no,
They put
it's
Lego
completely...
Horizon on the Switch.
At this point,
They don't care.
The big three have gotten so different from one another.
Yeah.
That they're not even competing with each other.
Yeah. No, that's
like
true.
Gone are the days of Sega versus Nintendo, or even like Xbox, GameCube, and PlayStation.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah.
The PS2 generation was the last one where there were like 3 major competitors on the market. Nintendo have not been in that same space since the Wii.
Yeah. Like, the 7th generation was, the 360 was for games, the PS3 did full media, and the Wii was the Wii.
At the beginning of the generation, yeah, but the PS3 was kind of able to shift its image towards...
Oh, by the end, like, I'm not saying the PS3 didn't have games, but, like, I know a lot, like, I did a lot of home theaters and everything, and it was always a PS3.
Yeah, for sure.
It was so versatile for that.
I need a drink of water really fucking badly.
Just get a drink. I just have Gatorades, bro. Podcast Gatorades.
Sorry about that. It's diet. But, yeah, Sony don't give a shit.
No, none of them do.
But I think they do care more about Xbox because they put Lego Horizon on Switch.
But it's funny because if Sony cares more about Xbox, I don't think Microsoft gives a fuck anymore.
I don't think Microsoft care, but I think Sony still do. But they don't care about Nintendo.
It's kind of like, it's like a funny rivalry because it just kind of died out and Sony's like, square up. Microsoft's like, no, do you want our games too? And they're like, fuck off. They've won the fight, but they just want to keep going for their own ego. But they did tease that they're working on a PS6, which I do not want to hear right now. I just bought a PS5 Pro. Fuck off. I told you the PS6 is coming out.
It will be 2028 at the earliest. It was a very early tease. If it's 2028, I'm fine. If it's 2027, I'll be pissed.
The real trick is in early 2028 to sell your PS5 Pro for probably as much as you bought it for.
Well, no, because you know they're just gonna put a game I really, really want right at the end.
You still have your PS5, don't you?
Yeah, I might sell my base PS5. Anywho, 3 more things actually. PS Plus doing well, apparently. Like, there's a big growth in subscription, especially their highest tier, their premium tier, which I'm surprised because I don't know a single person who has that.
Who the fuck has that?
Apparently a lot of people. They keep saying it's doing well, but they do not plan to do first-party day one releases on it. They were asked about that directly, and they're like,
no, they would never. They would never.
They're not interested.
Sony needs that money.
So, mostly positive Sony news here. Here's a big negative. Marathon. It's been delayed. Everybody knew it was getting delayed, but...
Bye-bye, Marathon.
I bet that's going to be at least 12 months. I don't think we see that till September 2026.
Just cancel it.
They spend too much money.
Cancel it.
They spend too much money. They're going to have to show something for it.
Just close it down. Shut of the studio. It's over.
They're not going to shut the studio because Destiny's still, like, printing money for them, so...
Yeah, Destiny 3 is about to be fucking... bar for bar.
They are going
another
to...
game. Where are they gonna get the story from? It's gonna be like Game of Thrones, or just gonna plagiarize that, or like what are you thinking?
Yeah. One last piece.
Came up with a new art style, and their main character is just fucking Joker.
Yeah. Which Joker are you talking about?
Persona. Like, it's a new class. We're calling it the Blue Speedster. It's just fucking Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah.
I have no faith in Bungie anymore. Fuck Bungie.
Here's the thing, I am still a Destiny enjoyer, so...
I can't.
But, yeah, Marathon, we all knew it was getting delayed. After the plagiarism scandal, we all knew it was going to happen. And it has been delayed. It's not coming out this year, so... They did not give a new release window, which means it's probably a pretty big delay.
Yeah.
One final piece of Sony news. There's rumors that they're going to acquire WB Games. Not their IP, but their studio. The studios.
I wonder how much the studio would cost.
I would reckon not much. So they would get like, Rocksteady, WB Games Montreal, and would have been Monolith, but they shut them down. They would get NetherRealm, so they would get Mortal Kombat, which would be big news for Evo. I suspect that's part of why they're doing the Marvel fighting game. Sony own Evo now.
Yeah, Sony's had Evo for a while.
Yeah, but I think they just want to have their games succeed at Evo.
Yeah, well, once they acquired Evo, all like Smash Brothers was out.
Yeah.
Shit like that, so.
Anyway.
I don't know, it's Warner Brothers has to sell it.
They do, but I don't know what the value of them is without their IP, because they lost a lot of people during making Suicide Squad.
They lost like 200 million. Suicide
No, a lot of people as well.
Oh yeah, they lost everything.
So I don't even know what the value of that is, but maybe Sony can. If there's anybody that can turn Rocksteady around, it's Sony. Like we know they're capable of making 10 out of 10 bangers, but Suicide Squad.
Do I trust Sony right now? No, no, I don't trust Sony right now.
Just gonna have a quick look at Open Critic. How are the releases this week
doing? The past little while for Sony.
90.
The past little while for Sony has been it's so over to we're so fucking back, and it's been like that for 3 years.
It has, and right now they're very much in the we're so back thing. But...
We're so back, and then I don't know, maybe fucking Ghost of Yotei comes out and it's actually a first-person shooter, and we're like, what the fuck? And like, you never know. You never know.
I'll tell you what. Marathon was going to be the It's So Over, but because they delayed it, we're just going to get It's So Bad.
We're skipping. We're staying in the We're So Bad.
We're skipping the It's So Over. Maybe your Soul Aside will disappoint. Maybe that'll be the It's So Over.
Marathon would have been the death nail on Sony Live Service.
Maybe. Are we ready to move on to Rapid?
I believe so.
Rapid Fire. We already talked about some of this. There's an Expanse game that got announced. That's kind of cool, I guess.
Game?
It's a game. Don't have much of an opinion on it, but it's kind of cool. Kind of seems very Mass Effect inspired. One company who did not show up at E3 at all was Ubisoft, except for PC Gaming Show, which we didn't talk about because they barely fucking show anything there. But the Rogue Prince of Persia is coming out in August in 1.0. So it's going out of early access in August, so that's probably when I'll play it.
That's neat.
Nothing else that Ubisoft showed. Nothing. Not even Splinter Cell, and I'm seriously beginning to wonder what's going on with that game now.
Yeah, it's weird.
Sands of Time I expected to show up. It did not. Everybody moaned at them about it because they teased it and it didn't show. They teased Splinter Cell too and it didn't show.
Yeah.
They put out a tweet with Sam Fisher's face. Didn't show. It's a bit of a shit show, but they did put out a tweet saying, yeah, we're still working on the Sands of Time remake. It'll be out soon. Hi.
Yeah, we're still making games. Don't worry. I know y'all were all worried.
We're all getting excited.
They were like, don't look at the fire behind us. Shadows was great. We're like, I think something's going wrong over there. And they're like, shut up. Don't even look.
Yuck, I wasn't a big fan of Shadows, but in fairness to them, it did sell well.
Sorry?
I wasn't a big fan of Shadows, as I will say in the review, but in fairness to them, it did sell well. But
it needed. It wasn't the company saving amount.
But we knew that was impossible. It could have beat Valhalla, and it still wouldn't have done that. And it wasn't going to beat Valhalla because of COVID and the next gen consoles.
The last update we got on Shadow's total sales was 2.4 million copies.
Yeah, but Ubisoft don't report total sales anymore. I don't think we ever got a number for sales. We got player numbers. We had this conversation on a different podcast.
I believe so.
Anyway, we already talked about the Silent Hill stuff, so we'll skip through that. Byattmith Wukong is coming to Xbox.
Exactly 1 year after. There was no exclusivity.
There is no exclusivity deal. No chance. The conspiracy theory bullshit.
Yeah, everything's fine in Bossing say. There's no conspiracy.
No. This next one's kind of cool, though. NetEase, who everybody associates with, like, really shitty monetized live services, they revealed a single-player game, and it actually looks pretty good.
I mean...
What's the title again? Blood Message? Is it just called Blood Message?
I think it's Blood Message, yeah.
Yeah, just Blood Message. Looks good. It's kind of cool that it looks like China's putting out some good shit now.
The thing about NetEase is, like, when you make that many games, you really get good at making games.
You say that, but like NetEase put out some dog shit.
They have, but they put out addictive dog shit.
I don't really have much else to say on it, other than it looks kind of good. I'm interested to see more.
Yeah, it looks neat.
Other stuff. Switch 2, we talked about the sales already, but Dragon Drive got a release date of...
Hell yeah, man.
August 14th, was it?
I believe so.
$20. So, I remember I said during the Switch 2 pod that I was concerned they would pull an ARMS and put that out at like 60.
Make it $70.
Yeah, or even $80, but it's 20, which is a very reasonable price point. I mean, Rematch gameplay... We're going to talk Rematch in a bit. Rematch gameplay in the background. I suspect it's going to be just as threadbare in terms of content. I think it's going to be very, very threadbare in content. But...
That's cool. $20.
There were... Oh, sorry. You want to talk about the London Underground?
Yeah, they had a Metroid Prime 4 out now.
Nope. Just nope.
Which, I'm like, okay. Was this just... Because this has happened before. We've had leaks of game dates because of, like, bus ads and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So I'm assuming those were just supposed to go up later this year. I
suspect it was supposed to be a launch title and the game got delayed.
I'm guessing that Metroid Prime is now going to be coming in, like, September.
No. I suspect it'll be November, December. It'll be end of the year.
I'm guessing earlier than that.
We'll see. There's rumors of a Nintendo Direct in July, so we'll know.
Give me a new Fire Emblem, god damn it.
Witcher 4, we talked about the not quite real gameplay demo in the last pod, but apparently they're going to be targeting 60 FPS on PS5, so that's cool.
The big problem with Cyberpunk, because now that it's all the Fallout's happened, you can look back and see exactly what happened with development. They targeted PC first and then port to console.
And this time they're doing it PS5. The PS5 is their core platform.
Yeah, so this time developing for console first, and then basically once you develop for PS5, you port it to Xbox, you already have your PC version.
I'm sorry, I've got Rematch gameplay in the background, and it's just the yaggiest shit imaginable.
Oh, man. I'm so good at that game now.
Yeah, well, we'll get into that. Unfortunately, there were layoffs at the Chinese room, the developer of Still Wakes the Deep and Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2. They insist it's not going to affect Bloodlines 2, which is still supposed to be out this year, by the way, but who fucking knows when that's happening.
Don't look at the fire, everything's fine. It's one of those.
I say this when there's layoffs anywhere. I do feel for the developers. I hope they land on their feet. And,
it could have been as simple as missing a round of funding.
Yep. Just...
sucks, but it happens.
We briefly talked Dune Awakening, so I might as well say that hit 1 million sales. And Resident Evil Requiem has... wow. Resident Evil Requiem has over 1 million wish lists already, and the game's not even out for pre-order yet.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's going to be a banger. That's going to be a big one.
Yeah, Resident Evil has just gotten more and more popular.
The last thing on the list we'll use as a segue. So before then, Sega stuff. There was a fuck ton of Sega numbers that got yanked.
That just got dumped randomly.
Yeah. Let me pull out. And they accidentally got yeeked by Sega themselves.
Which is funny.
Right, so we got some numbers here. Yeah, let me pull up the True Achievements article. Shout out True Achievements, I guess. Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, 1.66 million.
Pretty good.
Given the hype that Yakuza gets, I would have expected more, actually. Yakuza Like a Dragon
sold 2.8.
Yeah, 2.86, so it's a pretty big drop-off, actually.
But that was also a franchise refresh.
Yeah, it was, in fairness. Like a Dragon, the Man Who Erased His Name, 960,000.
Spin-off day one on Game Pass.
Yeah. Persona 3 Rio, 2.07 mil.
Also day one on Game Pass.
Sonic Superstars, 2.43 mil, and Sonic Frontiers, 3.5 mil.
Frontiers selling that well is very surprising.
I am surprised it was that low, given how successful the movies have been.
Well, again, these games probably don't cost nearly as much to develop
as
what we're thinking, right? Like, that's a huge success to them.
Team Sonic Racing is 3.5 mil. Total War Warhammer 3, 2.34 mil.
This is the most interesting one.
Shouldn't it make
my opinion? No, Total War.
Total War 3.21. Yeah.
That is the third Total War game, and they said that they want to make more Warhammer Total Wars because they were so successful. But come to find out that Three Kingdoms sold way more. And Three Kingdoms was way better received than the Warhammer ones. And everybody really wants them to go back to making the historical Total War games.
Okay.
And they've been fighting against it, and it's been really contentious in the community. And they lost a lot of love releasing Warhammer 3, and it turns out it wasn't even fucking worth it.
Okay. Two more. Shin Megami Tensei 5, including its Vengeance PS5 port. 2.11. Persona 5 Royal, the one that has by far the most sales of all of these, 7.25 mil.
And that's just Royal.
Yes.
That's not P5. That's Royal.
Although I suspect 80 to 90% of the P5 sales were for Royal, because Persona 5 got big after Royal.
No, Persona 5 was big before Royal.
It was big, but it got way, way, way bigger. It became mainstream, and 10.45 million copies total for Persona 5, according to Wikipedia.
Yeah.
So 3 mil of the original and then 7.25 of Royal.
What are you talking about?
I'm looking at this. Total sales of Persona 5 to 10.45 mil.
Yeah, but this just reaches... Yeah, so it sold 4 million. That's still really good.
I didn't see 4 mil. That says 3 mil.
Still really good.
It sold 3.2 million units by July 2021. And probably almost everything after that would have been Royal sales. So
it sold the main franchise.
Yeah, it did. Persona 5 is a legitimately mainstream hit. Which brings us to the one other game we got sales figures for. And me and Connor disagree quite strongly whether this is good or not.
Metaphor.
2 million units.
That's really good.
It sold 1 million units in, a day. The fact that it only managed to double that in 7 months...
That's pretty good.
Surprising. The fact that it didn't... It's very front-loaded. Very front-loaded.
An 80-hour JRPG.
Yeah, the fact that it's so long would only contribute more towards it being backloaded in sales. Games like The Witcher 3, for example, those were very backloaded. Skyrim, very backloaded.
Skyrim got re-released 15 times. The Witcher 3 not only won Game of the Year. Remember, Witcher 3 won Game of the Year, but it also had DLC supporting it and bundles.
We never know who finishes second, but I can only assume Metaphor finished second.
What, second for Game of the Year?
Yeah.
It was probably Metaphor.
It was probably second. It was a Game of the Year nominee. I am surprised it is only 2 million units.
I think 2 million is really good. I don't think the development cost was that high. It was Studio Zero.
I think it depends very, very heavily on what the budget is. I said this in DMs. I didn't say it bombed. It depends heavily on the budget. But, I mean, you compare it to Persona 5 Royal, and it's just it's night and day.
What? For sales or budget?
For sales.
I think for both. Persona 5 had a way bigger budget.
Oh, I don't know about the budget. I'm saying I don't know.
I'm saying because Metaphor reuses a lot of Persona's DNA.
Look, I'm not a Sega investor. I don't have access to their financials. I'm just guessing.
And it is made by the smallest of the Atlas teams.
Okay. Look, I'm not saying it bombed. I'm saying I don't know whether it bombed.
So I'm saying 2 million in sales is really good, especially because it's a new IP.
I think the fact that it's
JRPG.
from the Persona 5 people, and it's heavily marketed as from the people that made Persona 5. It was
I still think 2 million is just fine.
Whether it's fine or not depends on the budget, which is information we just don't have. We're spitballing and guessing at this point.
And I'm saying that we can guess that the budget's relatively low. Sega's called it a success 3 times now. They said it was a major success in their leaked earnings call a while ago.
I think that was right out of launch, though. I mean,
yeah, it's still a major success. If 1 million copies to them is a major success, then
well, yeah. That's like saying Batman versus Superman was a big success because it had a big opening weekend.
Well, really did it make its budget back?
Did it double its
budget?
No. Well, actually, movies need to 2.5 times their budget. By the way,
so then if movie 2.5 times is its budget, then
it was on pace to on its opening weekend, and then fell off a cliff because everybody hated it. That's what I'm saying.
I'm saying they recouped their budget before 500,000 copies.
That is a massive stretch. That is a massive stretch.
It's really not. You haven't played the game.
I haven't played. I don't know the budget, but you're assuming.
As somebody who's played Persona 5.
Do you have access to the number? You don't.
No, but you can see how much assets they reused. It's using an old engine. They didn't have to.
There's a lot more to game development. There's a lot more to game development.
They didn't have to make new animations. They just had to slightly change models. Like, if the whole game is made up essentially of Persona 5 models redone.
That's
it didn't cost
one
much.
Aspect of video game development. The game was in development for like 8 years.
It uses the same combat system. It has the same effects. It has the same damage numbers.
Look, I'm not saying that the game bombed. I'm saying we don't know if the game bombed.
I'm not saying the game bombed either. I'm saying the budget was probably pretty low.
I don't know, because we don't know the number.
There's only like 10 dungeons.
I don't know. It could be, yo. It could be fucking Concord level. We don't know.
No, I know that it's low. It's really easy to see.
Well, budget is not necessarily easily seen.
It's really easy to see.
They spent $250 million on Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania.
Yeah, but that's a movie, and 2, that's Disney pissing away money.
They spent $200 million on Concord.
Yeah, Concord was dog shit. Sony burns money, and it's a Western studio.
Yeah, Western games are generally more expensive.
Blow through fucking money like crazy.
Yeah, that is true. I'm not saying it was $200 million, but I'm
Halo
saying
Infinite had a budget of $500 fucking million. They built everything from the ground up. Fresh engine, fresh everything.
Right, what I'm saying is budget is not often immediately visible to the naked eye.
So I'm saying a game made up entirely of assets they already had by a team that used an entire code base that they already had and just modified it. Yeah, it's probably a lot cheaper.
Not necessarily, because that's only one aspect of game development.
So the models, the gameplay, all right, those are 2 pretty big aspects.
Those are 2 parts of it, but there's also having to employ people for 8 years.
Sorry, you cut up.
There's also having to hire people for 8 years, because this gives them development for 8 years.
Yeah, they were already developing. They're the support studio for the other 2 studios.
Yes,
this game's been in development for 8 years.
Yes, but
it has a team of like 50 people.
Yes,
and they finished with a team of like 50 people.
Yes, but they had to employ 50 people for 8 years. That's part of a budget.
Okay.
They had to market the game, and the game was pretty heavily marketed, including at the Xbox show last year, 2 years ago.
Okay.
Which would have cost money. And there's loads of other parts of game development that we just don't see because the public
I'm guessing that this game only costs like at most $30 million.
I'd say 40 mil.
Like that, and that's not a lot at all. And that includes marketing and everything.
Yeah, no, my number would include marketing too. I would say about 40 mil. Now the question is 2 million enough to make 40 mil a success? I don't know. It could be higher than 40 mil. We don't know. You don't know, because you don't have access to their financial numbers. I don't know, because I don't have access to their financial numbers. What's 70% of $70? 49. 49 times 2,000,000. Is that the right amount of zeros? Yes. $98 million.
That's pretty good.
Probably turned a profit. But we don't know.
Turn a profit, and it's a new IP.
Also, that's assuming everybody bought the game at full price. Which is not true, because I have the game and it was not bought at full price.
Okay.
So, what I'm saying, because I want to reiterate this, I did not say that
And
the
how
game
many people
bombed.
bought the special edition?
I don't know.
It's impossible to get actual sales numbers.
At that point, I don't know. But
sorry, you can get sales numbers, but you can't get the price because of how many different versions.
I've run out of rematch footage. Give me a minute. I need to change it.
But no, I think Metaphor did just fine, mostly because Sega has said multiple times, yeah, Metaphor is really, really good.
Yeah, but they only said that right out of opening weekend, and things can change from there, is what I'm saying.
No, it wasn't right out of opening gate. It was the earnings call half a year later. The one that leaked online. I think I sent it to you a while back.
Okay. Anyway, it's 2 mil now, so it's definitely not a Persona level hit. That much is obvious.
That is a Persona level hit. Persona 3 Reload sold
not
2
Persona
million
5
copies.
level hit. Persona 5 level hit. That's what I meant.
Persona 5 had fucking 10 years. More. I bought Persona 5... When did Persona 5 come out? No, it was 9 years ago. 2016.
No, it's 2017.
Persona 5
it was 2017 in the West.
Was it 2017?
It was March 2017.
Okay, so there you go. So 8 years. 8 years, and then P5 Royal comes out, and it comes out during COVID.
Yeah, COVID definitely helped it. That's fair. That's fair. Because I said the same thing about Valhalla with Shadows, so I'll give you that.
But like a new
I'll give you
IP,
that in fairness.
Like Metaphor sold on par with Shin Megami Tensei 5, and it sold on par with Persona 3 Reload. As a new IP, that's really good. Persona 3 Reload is a remake of one of the most beloved Persona games.
Without access to without knowing their budget, this is a stupid circular argument because neither of us.
Like I guarantee you, Persona 3 Reload had a way bigger budget.
We don't know the number.
But I can tell you this because they had to make all new models, and they had to remake the entire combat system. So
it was Persona 3 Reload in Unreal.
It was in Unreal.
When did it begin development?
Years ago. I think Persona's 3 years ago. Or three years before
2019, so it was 4-year development cycle.
Yeah.
Because it was very early 2024, so like probably 4.5 years.
And that's the main Persona team.
Were they not making a Persona 6?
Oh yeah, they're probably making a Persona 6. It's probably 2035.
Okay.
Yeah, Persona makes me want to hang myself. Persona 4 came out in 2008, and Persona 5 came out in 2017.
Anyway, I don't think there's any use arguing about numbers that we don't know.
Well, it's not arguing. It's just, it's easy to see. Persona 3 Reload is a completely fresh game built from the ground up, and Metaphor reuses a lot of assets.
Oh, whatever. Anyway, moving on.
Right down to the little health and mana ticks that you get when your character's accidentally asleep. It even has the same sound effect.
Okay, moving on. Are we ready to move on?
It'd be like if they re-released God of War Ragnarok, but fucking Kratos was wearing a cowboy hat, and you were like, we don't know how much it costs. I'm like, I'm pretty sure it didn't cost a lot. He's just in a cowboy hat now.
Well, it's also like that would be the same game. This is a different game and a different setting.
It's essentially the same game.
Well, no.
Even some of the areas are laid out the exact same.
Yeah,
as
but
Persona 5.
It's a completely different story. It's a completely different world. It's completely different this, that, the other.
Yeah, it's a different story. I'm saying all the assets are very much the same.
Well,
even some of the dungeons have the same layout.
I'm
in
just
fact,
saying,
one of the dungeons, bar for bar, is the
assumptions.
same layout.
You're making assumptions
it's not an assumption. I played the game and I went, oh wow, this is the exact same layout.
This, if X equals Y, then Z. If this is true, then budget must be yo. Not necessarily.
Well, no, it's just because I know a lot of game developers and
you don't know any people that work at fucking Atlas, do you?
No, I don't. But I can easily message my buddy that works at Ubisoft and say, hey, if you had the entirety of all the assets...
Don't think Ubisoft are the best people to ask for budget, given they spent
And you were just redoing things.
They spent $125 million on Skull and Bones. I don't think Ubisoft are the best people to ask for budget.
It was Far Cry 6. I had a buddy that worked on Far Cry 6, and I remember I was talking to him about it. He goes, I don't know how the fuck this game is costing this much. I was like, okay.
Yeah, exactly. So you don't know is exactly what I'm saying.
Well, I think that was the game where the marketing budget was bigger than the development budget.
Honestly, I could see it. Far Cry is pretty big. It sold well. Like Far Cry 6
it sold really well, but it's one of those things where the guy was like my buddy was like, "Yo,
anyway,
it's the same gun."
It doesn't matter because we don't have the numbers. So
yeah, but I got common sense.
Well, no, because the common sense would be to not jump to conclusions. So no. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Common sense is...
Doesn't matter. Point is, Persona 5 Royal sold like way more than anything else from any Sega, any part of Sega.
Yeah, P5's huge.
Anyway, moving on. One final piece of sales news, and it's going to roll right into the what we've been playing section. Rematch has hit 3 million players, which I think is a good point to start talking about what we've been playing.
We played Rematch. It's a buggy fucking mess.
Yeah, we should probably start with Rematch because we both played it. I reviewed Rematch. I will leave a...
God damn, is that a buggy fucking mess?
I will leave a link to that review down in the description. We're kind of on the same page with it. The core game is very fun, but it is broken.
I've been continuously playing it all week. I bought it on Steam because all my friends bought it on Steam. Because by the time I sent my second Discord message, they had already purchased it.
That's quite funny.
But they've done 2 hot patches since. There's still really bad issues with the servers.
Servers
the disconnect is crazy.
Yeah.
But they fixed some of the problems with the disconnect. Like you can't get or desync. Sorry, not disconnect. You can't get desynced if you accidentally kick the ball off the post anymore. Which I don't know how that got through QA. So yeah, you remember when there would be times where we would just walk through the ball?
Yeah.
It's just because somebody hit it off the post.
Is it the post that caused it? What the fuck?
Yeah, it's the post that caused it. Because I don't know. It's
I've had shots that hit the crossbar be counted as goals.
Yeah. The game should have been early access.
Yeah, it's not ready. I think the core of it is very fun.
But I think they're running low on money.
Yeah, probably. I also said before, I do wonder whether this is the only thing Clap are making, because it doesn't feel like the entire effort of the team behind Sifu went into this.
They're working on something else.
Probably.
Sure.
Oh, I almost guarantee it. I think the core game is fun. I hope I will be able to recommend it in the future, but as of now, not really.
I'm excited for crossplay so I can get Upward in with my fucking gang of goons to play.
Gang of gooners?
That's what I'm calling them. We're fucking wild.
The goon gang.
That's gonna be the most fucking horrifying Discord call you'll ever be in.
Oh, probably. It'll probably be a good time, though. But, why the fuck is there no crossplay? That is
they said at launch there's gonna be crossplay, and they waited until 3 days before it came out to say it wasn't happening.
It was the day before.
Was it the day before?
One day
Fuck
before.
Those guys. All the goodwill that they built up with Sifu was ruined, in my opinion.
I wouldn't say that, because I think the core game is still kind of fun.
The core game is great, but it's missing features at launch, and it's a buggy fucking mess.
I like
the game.
If you
I
are
have 15
to play
hours in that game.
I think, including the beta, I think I have like 10. I think if you want to buy it, or sorry, if you want to play it on Game Pass, because it is on Game Pass, and I think that's a much more reasonable entry point. I think even beyond the technical issues, I think the amount of content for $30 is quite CM. I don't think there's much content, which is very similar to what I was saying about Dragon Drive, actually, is what I was worried about. So that being only $20 it's a good sign. The ranked mode is basically non-functional at the minute, and the timing of that bug to be on the footage right as I talk about ranked, there might as well just not be a ranked mode in this game, because it's just
a buggy mess.
Fucking broken mess.
Dude, I got into gold. I'm in gold in ranked, by the way, just because there's games where half their team disconnects.
I didn't even finish my placements because it's just like, I'm just going to get frustrated with this.
It was awesome.
If I go back to play, it will be quick play, because, yeah. The other game we've been playing is Balatro, and I gave some brief thoughts on this in the last pod. I have now technically finished the game, because I got past Anti-8, which is considered a win. I see why people do like it. I don't. I'm sorry. I think it's kind of bad. I'm sorry. That sounds really harsh. I respect that it's a game made by one guy. I do. Honestly. God bless him. Genuinely. Canadian king. But I don't like it. I'm sorry. I think it's way too reliant on RNG. I don't find that fun.
That's okay. It's okay not to like it. Sometimes there's games that are really.
I know, but I feel really bad just shitting on a game from a solo dev, you know? But
it's fine.
I don't like it. I'm sorry. I don't. What about you, Connor? What have you been playing the last few weeks?
I've been playing Rematch.
Yep. Some rematching.
I've just been playing Metaphor again. I'm still.
We want to argue about the sales numbers again.
Yeah, it's Persona 5. It's basically bar for bar, Persona 5.
Word for word,
really
bar
good.
for bar.
Yeah. So, it's good. I still think Metaphor should have been Game of the Year last year. What else? I've been playing fucking League of Legends again, right? It's not been a good time for your boy.
Okay. Do we need to send help?
I'm back in school, so I just need games that I can sit down and play for 30 minutes at a time.
Yeah, you said that. What type of school?
I'm going to get my car selling license.
Yeah, but where would you do that? Is that a dedicated car school?
No, it's through Georgia.
Georgian College?
Georgian. Yeah, Georgian
Yeah,
College.
that's up in Barrie, right?
Yeah.
I assume you don't need to go into Barrie.
No. It's all at home. But yeah, so I'm doing that. So I just need games I can sit down and play for 30 minutes at a time. So League of Legends has a quick mode now.
That's how I've been playing Balatro. I've just been playing a couple of games, yeah.
Yeah, so you're going through a move right now. So it's
it's actually a good game to play right now.
This podcast is the longest I've sat down on my PC in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where it's it's quick it's nice to have a quick game that I could just play. League of Legends is dog shit. I don't recommend it, but if you want to play a dog shit game, it's the best one. If you want to get into a free-to-play multiplayer game that has endless content, that will probably end up breaking you. It's League of Legends is still the king. I've been playing League since beta.
That is actually fucking funny.
It's I have thousands of hours in that game. I've spent thousands of dollars on that game, and I don't regret any of it. I've also been playing Hearthstone Battlegrounds.
Oh wow,
Blizzard, fix your fucking game, dude. Fix your fucking game, Blizzard.
Now we're really scraping the bottom of the barrel.
I like Battlegrounds.
Can I talk about the thing I really want to talk about now?
Go nuts.
Movies, because I've actually seen a fair few.
Oh,
so
yeah,
I mentioned on the last thing that I was doing a Mission Impossible rewatch. Never actually finished that. I watched Ghost Protocol. Loved it. Fantastic movie. Amazing movie. You could tell it's from the former Pixar guy, Brad Bird, because you're the Pixar energy to that one, in a good way. Rogue Nation, which I enjoyed, thought it was good. Not my favourite. And I didn't see Fallout or Dead Reckoning Part 1 again because I'd already seen them pretty recently. Fallout a little bit later, but I'd seen them and I remembered them. And I was running out of time to see The Final Reckoning in IMAX. So I've now seen The Final Reckoning. And I am very surprised that the reception to this is so mixed because I think it's the best one in the entire series. I think it's fantastic. I'd say it's a masterpiece. I think it's one of the best action films ever made. I genuinely do.
I thought it was good.
Good. Fair. I seem to have an outlier opinion on this because it seems like most people were just, it's good, but not as good as Fallout. I think it surpassed Fallout. I do. I think it is the best one. It also felt very timely, given the whole certain situation going on in the Middle East and a certain AI craze. It felt very timely. And it almost felt like a direct rebuttal to a lot of things going on in the world right now. So, yeah. Amazing movie. Like, genuinely amazing movie. It's probably going to end up being my favorite movie of the year. Another movie I saw was Ballerina, the John Wick spin-off. Actually, wait, did you see Mission Impossible?
I did, yeah.
What do you think?
It was good. I don't think it was better than the previous one, but I thought it was really good.
Okay, so you have a more, like, with... your opinion kind of lines up with the consensus a bit more.
And you know me, I'm really harsh on movies.
Yeah, true.
Like, I am really harsh on movies. I fall asleep a lot in theaters. It takes a lot to keep me entertained. But I stayed up through the whole movie. I actually finished my popcorn. That's a big deal. I
hate popcorn.
So that means popcorn. It was enjoyable. How do you hate popcorn, you British bastard?
It tastes nice, but the thing gets stuck in your fucking teeth. I hate it.
That's a British problem.
Well, no, it's a popcorn problem. It doesn't happen with any other piece of food.
That's a British problem.
Alright, shut up.
I have strong Scottish teeth. Nothing gets stuck.
Yeah, you do realise that Scottish people are British.
No, we're not. We're completely different. We're bigger, cooler, stronger.
That's the difference between British and English. You're not English, but you are British.
Not British.
You are objectively British.
We're barely even Scottish.
True.
If we had our choice, we would be the people of the rocks out by the sea. We don't want to be affiliated with anything.
You fucking weirdos.
Yeah, the teeth got strong because we had to eat quick things on the golf course.
I can't fucking believe that fucking Rangers are fucking...
See, if I drink tea, I'm fine. If you drink tea, you immediately go full British.
Well,
you start punching people wearing colors. Yeah, it's fucked up.
So
that's.
I actually don't like
I'm more
tea.
British than you are.
But I drank
my first tea, man, and I understood every conquest we ever did. All right.
I drink beer like proper British men.
Yeah, it's funny because I don't drink alcohol.
Honestly, it's funny to me that like the biggest beer in England is Carling, which is based in Canada.
Shout out to Canada.
Was it Carling that's based in Canada? I think so.
Maybe.
I think it's based in London, Ontario. Yes, London, Ontario.
I'm going to see the F1 movie on Friday.
That's cool. I want to see it soonish, but I probably won't see it before next week.
If we had more time this weekend, we could have went and saw it.
Yeah, we don't. We do not have time. It's going to be a busy week.
Yeah, it's a busy one.
But, yeah, I saw Ballerina, the John Wick movie. That was good. Probably the weakest of the 5 John Wick movies, but I think that's more of a credit to the other 4. I think
when your weakest movie is still good.
Yeah, it's like still like an 8 out of 10 movie. The action sequences are 10 out of 10. Like, they're fantastic. I just think the story was kind of forgettable. Of note, I saw both of these movies with my dad. He really loved Mission Impossible, and he said he was really bored by Ballerina. So take that as you will. Apart from that, what I've been doing, moving. So, went to a couple of soccer games. 4, actually. Two on the Saturday, 2 on the Tuesday. Not much else. Moving. Yeah, moving. Been doing a lot of moving. Sucks. Gonna be done next week. That's gonna be nice.
That's exciting.
What about you? What have you been watching? What you been doing?
I've been doing school, man. I haven't had time to go watch anything.
So, apart from Mission Impossible, not anything?
No, me and my girlfriend are watching Initial D.
Oh yeah, was that the soccer one? Or was it something else?
No, it's racing.
Oh no, yeah, I think you mentioned this on the last podcast.
Yeah, we're now on season 4.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
So, that's been fun. I know, it's just been, it's like wake up study, you know?
Yeah.
Haven't had time to really go out.
Nice that
I also redid my...
Sorry.
I was working on my backyard.
Okay.
I've been working on my laundry room, so... Busy.
Yeah. Nice that we might have a a relatively normal Yanth podcast. It's just about 2 hours 45, so...
That's odd for us.
Yeah, we kind of got through things, but...
Maybe we're just getting better at the podcast.
Maybe. Like, maybe it's just because we didn't have as many rapid-fire things. There were things on the rapid-fire, which, like...
Yeah, it could also be, like...
We're talking about less irrelevant dog shit, so...
And we're blowing through topics quicker.
Yeah. Well, no, we spent, like, 2 hours on E3 stuff.
Yeah, but, like, you know... Wukong doesn't need a 10-minute segment.
No, it doesn't. And there was a lot of other stuff that I could have put in rapid-fire, but I'm like, neither of us are going to give a shit about this, so who cares?
Yeah.
I put the exciting stuff in, like us arguing over metaphor, so.
Classic.
Classic.
It did have a low budget.
We don't know.
It did have a low budget. Yeah, I know.
You're assuming.
I know. It's cheaper to get parts from the wreckers than it is to buy new ones.
Anywho, we're done here, I think. Good podcast. Good podcast, yeah. Probably be back mid-GI, probably after that Nintendo Direct. That'll probably be the big thing.
Yeah, hopefully there's a new Fire Emblem, and I have a reason to live.
Oh, God. Alright, thank you guys for listening to the podcast, and we'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.